welcome back everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the OSC, the OSC Elite Rising Star 18 day or week number 4. I'm a coach as VIP. With me I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome to our weekly dose of OSC Elite. Again, for those that are curious, for those who are unaware of this event, this is the OSC Elite Rising Star Tournament. It is a regular seasonal event featuring players, or featuring the rising talent in the StarCraft scene. Essentially, for those players that did achieve great results in offline tournaments and in major premier events, they are ineligible. So that's why in an event like this, you don't see players like Bjorn or Clem or Maru or Cyril or Raynor. Instead, it does limit to those that are up and coming. Instead, they're looking to rise through the ranks, looking to achieve greater results and to break through into that upper echelon of StarCraft scene. Let's go. Let us go. So we are here, we are live, and there's a lot to get into here. I also do apologize. I mean, we were live yesterday with Pickassar Cup, but we did not cover Kung Fu Cup last night. It was very late. It was very late. So in the end, we've decided to, at least until daylight savings hits, we won't be covering Kung Fu Cup live. We'll be covering it via replays. Then once daylight savings does hit, then it becomes a little bit earlier, then we can start covering on a regular basis live. That's the plan. That'll be in like 3 weeks. That'll be like 3 weeks time, but otherwise we are jumping into our bracket. Here we go. Un momento, papi. Oh, as I quickly just set some things up here. We do apologize. It just fixed the bracket command in the chat. We got it, Pat. We got it. Beautiful. Okay, exclamation mark B in the chat. Have a look back yourselves. As you can see here, we've already gone through 3 weeks of the OSC Elite broadcasts, and we have a lot of results coming in, and there's still so much more to come as well. First things first is Shameless. Shameless, he is, I would say, the favorite player in this bracket to win the entire tournament. He's the one to bring down, and he already did show a little bit of weakness here against Art. Art did force him to the ace match, but again, Shameless is the one to beat. I would say that on one seed of the tournament. Meanwhile, further in this broadcast, we have Inexorable versus Lelix. They're facing off in a TVP. We have Jumy versus Milky Cow in another PvT. We have Rebellion versus GgMaChine and a PvT as well. So we have these 3 matches in the upper portion of the bracket, but we also have the lower portion. Double elimination, a lot of games, a lot of matches. We'll be covering Creature versus Moja and some of the other kind of earlier lower bracket round matches. They're off screen over towards the left, over on the challenge page, and not quite on the Wikipedia page. We're going to be covering Hydra versus Shino alongside Sebesdes versus Defiance, Art versus Eno, and Moja versus Creature. Oh boy, so we have 7 best of 3s in total, and again, they're going to be all purely best of 3s. Plenty of games, plenty of matches, and again, because the lower bracket is so in-depth and so there's just so many games down there, typically this event does last a couple of months. I mean, hey, we've already gone up, this is already week 4, and we should be getting up to like week 8-ish to wrap up the event. It's going to be a lot of games, a lot of matches, a lot of StarCraft. But of course, we have our first series. We have our first matchup here. We're going to be jumping into Inexorable versus Ledlix in a TVP. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be jumping in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the yellow Terran representing Insane Master Killers. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Italian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is Ledlix. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as we do have our best of 3 currently underway. So again, best of luck. When it comes to this matchup, I'll be honest, it's a hard one to call. I think I lean a little bit towards Ledlix. It's hard to say. Inexorable is a beast in this matchup. He's a hyper aggressive, and we should be seeing a bit of a shorter series as a result of that, and we'll see if Ledlix can keep up with Inexorable. We shall see. For now, we're just going to be opening up stand. Oh, never mind. Double gas opening here by Inexorable, going into his second gas geyser, into a faster factory, into a delayed TC, and welcome one and all to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock has a shorter rush distance spike round, is a lot more aggressive in nature, and we should be seeing, again, aggression out of Inexorable. It's going to be up to Ledlix to scout, to confirm, and to react, and to defend back at home instead. first things first, here comes the probe scout, and Lelix, you should confirm that the CC is going to be delayed. That should prompt him to start setting up some City and to defend back at home. Oh. As the probe does poke in. Yeah, pokes in, gets eyes on the racks, goes further in, and there we go. We'll confirm the gases. Yeah, does scout both gas geysers. Pulls away. Is aware of the factory. Now, whether this goes into Reactor Reaper Hellion or it goes into more committed mine drops, if it goes into early Banshee play, it's still hard to say. Technically, this can also turn into a one base all-in. I don't think Inexorable is the kind of player to go into one base all-ins. Like, if we were casting Gumiho or Ryung, then I would put that a little bit more on the table here. But if we hear from Inexorable, I would assume just a straight up into a CC. Like, Rax, Factory, into Command Center. Okay, there it is. As the CC is on the way. Reaper does move out across the map. Oh, Lelix even getting a safety battery? That's pretty early. Okay. Battery is going to be turned down. Stoker is going to be out. Again, this does feel early just because there's nothing to really threaten the natural in such a way. So overly safe play by Lelix is what I will say. So we have our take of choice, going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Lelix. Likewise, Inexorable getting to zone 1-1-1. There's that initial Cyclone. Well, is it going to be Cyclone into Medevac drop? Do we go into something else more sinister here? Eyes are mainly on Lelix. From the side, they're mainly on Inexorable. From the side of Lelix, I mean, we're expecting at least 3-gate Blink Stalker. 2-gate Blink feels very risky on this map, so we should be steering away from 2 gates and going for an extra gateway, and maybe even a Robo on 2 bases as well. Meanwhile, it is going to be the initial drop. The hallucination does confirm that there's no add-on on the starport, does confirm the lack of reactor, and does confirm the early Cyclone. Oh, Cyclone into early tank. Okay, no add-on swap. Which means this might be Medevac into Viking. If it's going to be into Viking, then Inexorable is going to just rush across the map. Show us what you got. Yeah, we're waiting for the tank. And we're expecting a Viking, because we're just rallying. Yeah, we're just rallying across. Yep, there it is. Vikings on the way. So for those that are curious, this is basically an all-in out of Inexorable. We're rallying everything. Everything should be rallying across the map. The Viking is just to add extra DPS with as much as you can, with as much production as you can. Landed Vikings do actually a decent amount of damage to Stalkers, to armored units. Ooh, scat is denied. And here comes the tank. Here come the Vikings. Here comes everything. It's all or nothing for Inexorable. Ideally, he wants to try to siege up within range of the gateways. Oh, Medevac takes a lot of hits. The tank will unload, but can we siege up in time? Yeah, Blink isn't done. Yeah, Blink isn't done. Does siege within range of the gateway. And remember, we're rallying. We're rallying. We're reinforcing. The Cyclone barely surviving on 1 HP. You definitely argue the Cyclone took too much damage. Like, that's a big part of this push as well. It's a part of the backbone of the army. Blink is still not yet done. This gateway should fall. We have a wall of shield batteries on the way, but it might just be too late. Yeah, it might just be too late here as we're getting another gateway. Again, it was on Lelix to try to be active on the map to slow this down. He took a faster... Oh, did he go 2-gate? He went 2-gate blink. No shot. Sorry, he went for a 3-gate blink as there were 2 gateways down here, but no Robo. He went for a delayed Robo, faster expansion. The boys are being pulled. Dives on the first tank. The tank does fall, but now there's a second tank to join him. Oh, this is getting out of hand. Yeah, it's getting out of hand here. As so many probes are going down. The tank barely survives. Oh my god, does fall. But there's still too much Terran. There's too much Terran here. Inexorable going for the kill, going for the natural, setting up his bunkers, landing another Viking. And again, very quickly, when it comes to the build here out of our Protoss player, Inexorable, he went for a 3rd base before Robo. So very greedy build here by Lelix. And he gets caught for his greed, man. As once again, is going to be zoned away. I mean, he's got 2 batteries, but they're out of range of the army. Nice kiting so far with the Stalkers, at least. Oh. Let's pick up one of the ACVs. And we're warping in 1 unit at a time. Sorry, 2. 2 gateways. Another tank has arrived. Oh, calm down. Jesus. Yeah, the tank should be able to siege. Stalkers, they failed to deny the bunker. Now, you could argue that this natural doesn't really matter as much because Lelix has another expansion, but at the same time, he has no economy. He's down to 12 probes. Again, barely an economy. Back at home in Inexorable, he's just banking up. He has mules. He has 2-base saturation. And Inexorable, he's just snowballing out of control. Oh, as we're going for we almost went for the dive. Calm down. Yeah, we can just rotate over and just kill the third. Here come reinforcements. Trying to catch another stalker. And yeah, I mean, I don't see a world where Lelix can actually stand strong against this kind of army, not with such a limited economy. He's gonna try though. Ooh, losing another stalker. Down to 11. That's 3 tanks sieging up. You could argue 2 of them are a little bit close. So blink onto these 2 tanks, may be able to neutralize them, but there's still so much here to punish. He's going for it. He's going for the dive. Blinks in. Gets 1. Gets 1. Gets 2. Getting all 3 tanks, but it's going to cost him so many stalkers. Oh no. Yeah, so many stalkers go down. Brutal damage. And GG gets called. GG gets called, and Inexorable takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a hyper aggressive build here by Inexorable, essentially like a 1-base all-in. Meanwhile, Lelix was cutting corners. Even though he saw that up gas opener, even though he was being a little bit safe by going for a 3rd gateway, he did not go for a safety robo, and likewise, he failed to see the move out as well. It was very unfortunate, but if you remember, his hallucination scout was denied, so he wasn't able to confirm and unable to engage ahead of time on top of the ramp either. So very, very rough setup there by Lelix was punished, and with that, Inexorable takes the lead. Takes the lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading in game number 2, and we'll see if Lelix can recover and bounce back. And we force the ace match. What does it all end here and now in game 2? Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the yellow Terran representing his team, representing Insane Master Killers. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. Red Protoss, the Italian Protoss. It is Lelix. We go. As we're getting into game number 2. Now, welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a much larger map of the map pool, much larger map, longer rush distance by ground. As a result, we do expect to see a longer game. We expect to see an economic opener out of the Terran, and likewise an economic opener out of the Protoss player as well. We're expecting more mid-game aggression, if any aggression at all, is what we're expecting. Technically, we could see an all-in out of Inexorable again, and the hope, the goal would be that your opponent's being very greedy and your opponent doesn't scout and your opponent's overconfident, but especially after game 1, I feel like Lelix should be on top of the scouting. We shall see. Oh. So far, we're going to be opening up. Claiming our natural. Likewise, this time Inexorable does open up single gas. So again, economic start. Makes sense. We're just calming down. We have Lelix here to delay the expansion. To disrupt the economy. Forcing down the second SCV. And now we can just settle into game 2. When it comes to this kind of setup here, I do feel like Lelix should be a little more comfortable in the mid game, being able to get a 3rd base up and running and get into a more robust economy with splash damage. Whether he goes into Colossus or Storm, yet to be determined. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Stalker first, into Sentry, into Hallucination Scout. Again, this is just to confirm the add-ons, the production. Technically behind this, there could be, say, a racks into Tech Lab, a second and third racks into a 3x stim timing. There could be like a racks into fast third CC into a 3cc 3 racks. There are different builds, different variations that we could be seeing here, so it's on Lelix to confirm if he's in danger, or if his opponent's being overly greedy. So Hallucination does move out. Lelix setting up back at home. Scout does get eyes on the 111 and on the add-ons as well. Likewise, the Inexorable is yet to really confirm the tech of choice. We can see it's going to be Blink. It's going to be Blink into 3 gateways. It looks like 3 gate Blink into a third. It looks like the same build as game 1, but I do feel like it's, of course, safer to go for this build here in game 2. That's Inexorable. He spots a third. He spots a probe. And again, just a delay on the robo. So he does cut some corners at least. There we go, robo after the third expansion. Likewise, Hallucination dips in. Confirms the add-ons, confirms the Raven as well, so he knows there's no Banshees coming his way. He also sees the add-on swap. So Lelix, he sees everything he needs to. There's no real harass outside of auto turrets, of course. Safety batteries are being turned down. From here, we can start to probe up and saturate the third base, and then it'll be on Lelix to tech up, not just into charge, but also into either Storm or Colossus. Technically, you could stay on a low gateway count and get like double forge, double upgrades, and go Mass Zealots. That's usually reserved for smaller maps, usually. As Lelix is gaining map control, moving out. Inexorable, he's going to be building up into bases. Now from here, Inexorable can turn this into a 2-base all-in. We have Stim on the way, we're building up the tank count. It looks like it's only going to be 2 tanks, so he's not getting to like a 3rd or 4th tank here. He's just slowly building up. There's a higher chance he does get a 3rd CC. But Lelix, he has to make sure. You want safety, immortal production. We have the answer here. It's going to be the Bay. It's going to be Colossus. It's going to be Colossi. Doesn't siege both tanks. Inexorable, he does move out. He did snipe the Observer. Stim is done in 10 seconds. And he does get a 3rd CC. Okay, I was checking to see if he was going to pull the boys, but no. Just stays at home, expands, claims his 3rd base. And we are getting into the mid game. I'm sure he's moving out, but again, this push shouldn't really achieve too much here. He's really just checking Lelix. There's the first Sim. Zelsair going for a counterattack. Ooh, gets within range of the base. And nice auto turrets to get within range of the Immortal as well. Zelsair do come in from behind. They get on top of the tanks, and the tanks, they will go down. Whew, nice round. Yeah, very nice round here. Tanks full. GG gets called as Inexorable. He will lose everything, and Lelix ties up the series 1-1. GG. Again, Inexorable, he was expanding. This was not meant to end the game, but he did commit, right? He committed into the bases. I thought it was just going to poke out and pull back home, but no, he pushed all the way in. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going all the way to the ace match. I feel like we were robbed a little bit of the mid game and of a longer game between the two players, but Inexorable, it looks like he saw an opening that wasn't quite there. He missed the Zealot surround, of course. He missed the Zealots moving out, so he saw the army was smaller than it otherwise was, and yeah, he thought there was an opening there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match, loading into game number 3. And here we're going to be loading into a much smaller map. This is where I do go back to favoring Inexorable. Again, usually it's the smaller maps that favor the Terran, it's the larger maps that favor the Protoss. That's typically, like, traditionally the case. Obviously, there are exceptions to the rule, and obviously there are other things that can influence or impact some of these games. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Brazilian Terran. We have the yellow Terran for Insane Master Killers. It is Inexorable. Being forced into the ace match, can he bring it back? And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Protoss, the red Protoss. Tying up the series 1-1, it is Ducklings. Inexorable, we're going to calm down. Calm down, baby. Aye. But welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet has the shortest rush distance in the entire map pool. Shortest rush distance by ground. So as a result, pushes do hit harder and reinforcements hit faster as well. This usually comes into play like in longer games. Like if a fight goes poorly, bam, you can just instantly counterattack and instantly try to end the game. I will say that there's a bit of a give and take here. The map is smaller, and hey, double gas makes sense. Double gas opener out of Inexorable. I will say that the initial 3 base and 4 base setup is very easy to defend. What I mean by that is your natural is behind your third. This is a very rare map layout and often isn't the case. Usually, imagine if this space wasn't here. Usually you either expand and take your third linearly, or you take the triangular third base. Those are typically the 2 third options. But on this map specifically, there is a forward third expansion. So basically, once you get into the mid game and claim your third base, you can leave your army here and it protects all 3 bases. It protects your third, it protects your natural, and it protects your main base. Whereas typically there are other kind of avenues of attack, or you're a little bit more exposed, you're a little bit more off to the side. Not the case here. And likewise, the 4th is right next door. Like, essentially the distance between these 3 bases is very short, very short. So as the defending player, it's quite easy to rotate between them when need be. So once we get into the mid game, it's easier to build up into 4 bases and max out. That helps make up for the shorter rush distance. But here we go. So far, double gas opener, faster factory. Do we go for the same builds as we went for in game 1? Personally, I hope not. I hope we're able to diversify a little bit here and show something different. But so far, we have our 1-1-1. Oh, opening up mine drop this time. Okay. If you recall, in game 1, we saw the early tech lab into early cyclone, into then tank, and then cyclone tank drop across the map with Vikings into the all-in. But here we have a much more tame opener. Much more tame. Also, gracias, thank you, gracias. So mine drop is coming. What's most important though is after the mine drop. As the hallucination moves in, it does confirm the Widow Mines. Walling up back at home. Going for the same build, early shield battery, early battery into 2 more gateways into 3 gate blink. This is the same build 3 games in a row. From Ducklings. Hello. Looks like being knocked down. Here comes the first drop. Tank production has begun. Now, for those who are curious, these tumors do naturally expire at around, is it like 750? Like 755? Like just under 8 minutes is when they naturally expire. But there's now a little bit of extra DPS here on one of those tumors. May lead into an earlier push across the map with faster reinforcements. I'm curious. So here comes the mine drop. Lelixi does react. Oh! It's too late! No, it's too late! Jesus. Takes down one of the probes, just the one though. And it looks like a second probe is gonna go down. Just barely getting one more. Denying mining time. Does deny mining. Does delay the economy. Does go for the robo before the third, but you can see Lelix is banking up 500 minerals. Oh, his production here, his macro did slip. So messy early game here from Lelix. And we have a Banshee follow-up. Okay. No cloak. No cloak, just vanilla Banshee. Still has potential. Lelix now going for a delayed third expansion, throwing down extra batteries. Interesting. What did he see? I saw the tech lab. He has yet to see the Raven, though. I mean, there is none. Stalkers, they delay the bunker. Banshee's moving in. And, oh, Stalkers are in position. Nice defense at Lelix. Yeah, so far, nice defense. Likewise, building up into charge. Bold move here by Inexorable, moving out with everything, actually. Trying to come in from behind with these tanks, but the tanks are exposed. This is a crazy move. No. Yeah, medevac goes down, gets one of the tanks, gets even... Oh, just one. One tank and a medevac. Expensive losses for Inexorable. Do we pull the boys? We do. The boys are being pulled. 2 base all in, but now with one less tank. Again, that was a crazy move, trying to come in from behind with some of your more expensive units. Meanwhile, we just see Lelix here throwing down some batteries. Oh, one of the tanks gets very low. Gets one. Now there's only one tank left. Yeah, only one tank remains. There's not much firepower here. Banshees, they come together. The final tank is going to be focused down. Once again, not a single tank shot goes up. But the Marines, he gets the Immortal. Okay. The Immortal does go down. Another tank does arrive. He's trying to go further in, ignoring the third. But again, only one tank here. Gets one volley off. Decent damage. Decent damage on the Stalkers, but we're running out of Marines. We're running out. Remember, there's no stim. There's no stim. The Marines, they tickle the Stalkers. And it looks like Inexorable is running out of steam. He's running out of steam here. He's running out of units. He's running out of SCVs. As 20 SCVs going down. Blink is done. Immortal does kite back. And then his army's just getting smaller and smaller here. Inexorable, he does I should say Lelix, he does defend. Inexorable just running out of army. Down to one tank. Uno más, papi, uno más. Oof. And that's all they had left. Remember, that was the economy as well. He had to pull all the boys. He's running out of steam. And there was potential with this all in, but he lost all of his tanks so quickly. Like, especially the first tank and the medevac. Because the first medevac also went down, it meant that he could not micro. It meant that he couldn't save his other tanks. GG gets caught, and Lelix, he will take the series 2-1, taking down Inexorable. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. Lelix, he does claim the series 2-1. My condolences to Inexorable. Again, Inexorable, I want to say there was potential when it came to this 2-base all-in, but as we mentioned, he lost his first tank and his first medevac insanely quickly. But more importantly, because that medevac went down so fast, it meant that he could not micro his units. He couldn't juggle his units. There were definitely moments where he could have saved tanks, or at least preserved some health on those tanks if he still had that medevac alive to micro, to juggle his units and to preserve those tanks, to build them up. Again, the tanks are the backbone of this kind of all-in. Without them, there is no all-in. And we saw that all 3 tanks went down so quickly here. GG, well played. With that, Lelix does claim the series, does advance on into the next round. Meanwhile, Inexorable, he's knocked down to the lower bracket. Instead. And here we go, we're getting to our next matchup, our next best of 3. It's going to be another PvT, this time featuring Jumy and Milky Cow. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet. Hey, we're back. We have the Red Terran player, himself, representing Team 3D Clan. It is Milky Cow. I'll fix up the player names. There we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the blue Protoss for Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our PVT. Now, if you are maybe a little bit unfamiliar with our players, both Milky Cow and Jumy are hyper aggressive. They're both very aggressive, very cheesy. Jumy can play macro, he can play mid game, he can play late game if he needs to, but often he doesn't want to. Like, often he does thrive in the mid game. Meanwhile, Milky Cow is also, again, one of the more aggressive Terran players in Europe. He's definitely up there, so we do expect all-ins, right? I expect, even on larger maps, I'm gonna expect like 2 base all-ins at a Milky Cow every single time. So it's just getting humid in here. Just opening up the room. But so far, double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC. This can lead into mine drops, can lead into early cyclone, Reaper Hellion. Let's find out. Oh, it's very early attack lab here out of Milky Cow. Now, what I will say, if you recall, I mentioned earlier how one base all-ins are possible here with double gas openers, and I would not expect them out of Inexorable, but I do expect them out of Milky Cow. So here we go, one base all-in. So I mentioned earlier that when I think of one base all-ins, I think of Gumiho, I think of Ryung, I think of Milky Cow, I think of Honmono. Like, there are definitely some key players that do embrace this sort of style. Going double factory, mass Hellion, Cyclone. Okay. Do we go straight into Cyclone production, or do we go into Blue Flame? Okay, Cyclone production has begun. Likewise, it's the second tech lab for another add-on swap into double Cyclone production. One base all in, and we might even pull the boys with this just to repair. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Jumy currently is unaware. Jumy, he sees nothing. Jumy saw the double gas opener. He saw the faster factory. That's all he saw. That's all he knows. We need that hallucination. Here we go. Hallucination moves out. The initial Cyclone is already pushing. It's already moving out with the first Cyclone. There we go. He spots the rags. He knows. Yeah, now he knows 100%. Mass Cyclones are coming. He needs batteries. As he's got one battery here on the low ground. He's going to need more than that. Lock on the sentry. No major damage yet. But does strip away some of the shields. Now, I assume this is going to be a one base all in, and it is hyper aggressive, but we do see an expansion behind this, which is odd to me. But there's an expansion. Well, Cyclones gets low, does kite back. Still only one battery. Yeah, with one battery, Jumy's going to lose everything. Yeah, Jumy, he will lose everything here. Remember, Jumy, he saw the one base all in coming. We needed like a second and third shield battery, and that might just be game. Oh, God. I say that, another pylon is thrown down. The Cyclones are still very low. We have more Cyclones reinforcing. It takes out another Stalker. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Oof. Depowers the shield batteries. Yeah, depowers the batteries. 2 Stalkers remaining. Bit of awkward control. Takes down another Stalker. Down to 2. The mass Cyclone. The Cyclones, papi. No. There's so many. Yeah, it takes down the battery. There's energy overcharge. God, the look-ons are crazy. Takes out another Stalker. And again, shout out to Milky Cow. He hasn't lost a single Cyclone yet. Oh, going for Blink. He gets it. Blink is denied. No. Oh, one Cyclone goes down. Okay. Takes out one of the Cyclones. Jumy, he's holding his own. It looks like finally Milky Cow, he has to back up. He has to retreat. His Cyclones are too low. He's still going in, though. Bold move. He's still going further in. Milky playing with fire. And he should just back off. Just back off from here. He's getting into maximum accelerators. He did not kill Jumy, but look at this reaction here. Oh my god, so much resources invested into batteries. He throws down 6 more batteries, 7 in total. Massive commitment here. Alongside, of course, lack of blink. That's also even more important. There's no blink for these stalkers. Oh, Milky here overextends. Throwing away 2 free cyclones. Every cyclone does count. Especially with mech, your army isn't really that large. Oh, that was on Milky Cow. It's a big mistake. Big misstep. Jumy's recovering. Jumy has yet to rebuild his Twilight Council. So still no council. There we go, just now throwing down a very, very late. And now he confirms. So now Jumy confirms that there is a natural base. So Jumy, he's now aware that he's behind economically. So he's down in economy. 3rd CC is already in production. Factory for, sorry, armory for upgrades. Sorry, that's a 4th CC. I just he already has a 3rd. Oh no. So what's scarier than mech? A mech army with a better economy. That's terrifying. And that's kind of what we're getting here. Well, that is what we're getting. So you have blue flame on the way, blowing down additional factories. As he does try to break out, tanks are slowly leapfrogging forward. At this point, I feel like the goal here for Milky was just turtle. Just slowly break out here with his tanks, with the siege lines. We might be here for a while. I know that it began with hyper aggression, but now it's very quickly slowing down. That makes sense. very quickly we're screeching to a halt here, making mainly tanks, no more cyclones, going into Hellions for some buffer, but it's going to be a much more tank heavy composition. Yep, throwing down a wall of turrets, sensor towers, planetaries. Yep, planetary is the 3rd base. So I was excited to see Milky Cow just pop off and be nothing but like aggressive all-ins, but nope. Well, I mean, we began that way, but now we're just slowing things down quite heavily here and getting into mech. Now, when it comes to mech and TVP, it is viable. We do see Clem embrace mech from time to time. Clem, Cure, Maru, like all the top Terran players do mix it in, but they usually mix it in like once in a best of 5, that sort of thing. It's quite rare to see them rely on it. Mech is a really good surprise build in TVP, but if your opponent has, you know, forewarning ahead of time, it can be quite difficult to pull off, just because how useful zealots are, right? Charge ults are so good against mech, against all things mech, really, against cyclones and tanks. They're very, very efficient, much more than, say, Lings from the Zerg side of things. Like, zealots are so much more tanky to be able to close that distance and get on top of the mech army. Likewise, Immortals, they're tank busters themselves. Switching into Disruptor. Interesting. I would have thought we would have seen like a switch into Sky Toss or something of that nature, but no. Going for Disruptors. Diving into the main, going for the add-ons, not bad. Getting a Tech Lab Reactor, Hellbats, nice force field on the ramp, catching another tank. And this is getting out of hand here. This is becoming critical damage. The boys are being pulled. Another force field. Oh my god. That might just be game. Another force field. This army cannot do anything. He's trying to get in. He's trying to get into his own main. Another force field. Ay, ay, ay. We just need one more sentry. Oh, the Immortal does rally in. The tanks, they just pop up. No more force fields. The army finally breaks through. But the damage here is insane. 19 SCV kills. This army is going to be cleaned up. But again, Jumy, he dealt critical damage. 20 SCVs, and of course the production's on fire. Won't quite get the armory. Now the question is, was this worth it? Behind this Jumy, he's on what, 4, soon to be 5 bases. He's building up his disruptors, mainly throwing away gateway units. True. As Zelsa gets to the middle line, we could have seen more damage here. But there we go, getting up to 32. 32 SCVs. So Jumy does cripple his opponents, but the army is now in favor of Milky Cow. Like, if we had maybe 2 more force field, even 1 more force field, I think Jumy kills like 3 factories. Like, he would have achieved so much more damage here. Barely nuts. And what concerns me is the lack of, I mean, I should say, the amount of tanks, right? We have so many tanks. Not many tanks were killed in that engagement, in that assault into the main. So the tank count is still very healthy. Jumy shocking around. Jumy does shocking around. Again, it's a very expensive army for Jumy. He's got to be careful. Cyclone's gonna be, oh, the Cyclone's gonna be going down, losing 2. 2 Cyclones. Nash uses the tall grass. Prison towards the main base. We have more turrets and Cyclones in position. Jumy does clip the army. So far, nice run bys. Again, the game is stabilizing. We're maxing out. Again, the movement to the main base could have ended the game, but as you mentioned, he just ran out of force fields. And this main armor was never dealt with. It feels like this is late. Sky Toss. So 2 more Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. It feels like we should have seen this a little bit earlier. Again, I wasn't too fond of the Disruptor transition. Going into Disruptors like this did delay the Sky Toss. And so far, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't quite worth. Or was it? Gets 1. It takes on the Cyclone. It gets 3 towards the end. 3 Cyclones, 2 Hellions. And again, just trading, nothing major. Chipping away at the army. Tempest production has begun. I will say that Milky Cow is not quite ready for Tempest. He should be switching into Thor soon, like Thor Cyclone. Instead, switching into Mine. I mean, he still has a decent Cyclone count, true. All the Cyclones. He has an answer to a low amount of Tempest. But otherwise, he'll need Vikings and Thors. As tanks are turned away. Okay, so back to the army. Zelta coming from behind. Nice round. Very nice round. And he does get on top of the tanks. Yeah, Jumy collapsing in. Takes out, what, 4 tanks. And again, you can see the power of the Zealot. As long as they can get on top of the army, they can just eviscerate here the tank count and the Cyclones. And Jumy mainly trains out Zealots. He preserves his Disruptors, he preserves the Immortals, and more importantly, here come the Tempest. At the same time, Thor production has begun, making 6 Thors at a time. Checking the scans here, yep, did confirm Skytoss, so Milky Cow is aware. He's aware of what's going on. It's getting ready. I sell it run by. A little bit surprising the CC wasn't a planetary. Like, we had command centers to spare. Oh, links into the mines. Jesus. Yeah, mine shall say pop off. This is a messy fight here from Jumy. Very messy. That was what, 7 Novas to kill 1 Thor? Like, we gotta get out of here. And Jumy's in trouble. Disruptors are on cooldown. He has no gateway army. Lock-ons are brutal. He'll be losing Immortals and Disruptors. And Jumy losing everything. Nova does connect. But taking expensive losses at the same time. Zelte busts into the middle line once again. Again, there's just no planetary here. There's no defense. We're trading bases. And how many Tempests do we have? 7. A decent amount. 7 Tempests. Is building up. We just see Milky Cow taking one of Jumy's bases, which is terrifying. He has to stop it. We've got to move in. Milky Cow is still trying to perfect his army. It's very Thor heavy, which is quite clunky. I'm not too fond of the amount of Thors that we have. We could have achieved this with maybe less Thors and more Vikings, but we'll see how this works. Let me say turn away. You can see the Thors, they're trying to engage. Does shred the armor. Does shred the armor. Once again, another counterattack, another run by. Recall defense center right. All the wide shots. Oof. Gets an Archon. The attempted flanking Novas. Let's go. A bit of a messy retreat here by Milky Cow. Again, the mass Thor composition here is very immobile. Very immobile. And Jumy's pulling this off. Again, Milky Cow, he has no bank. He has no bank. He's been losing too much. He has all these CCs, but I mean... still has no resources. Tempest, they rotate. Nice revelation. Tempest, they do move too far forward here. Oh, and every Tempest is going to be focused down. Yeah, down to 1. Jumy was on a move there. You can kite back against those Thors. But Jumy may be a little bit distracted. Uh-oh. You want a nice counterattack. Cyclones and an expansion. Even the mineral line as well. We're getting messy. Oh. Yeah, we're getting very, very messy here. Oh my god. The mines are going up. 21 probes go down. Likewise, center left is falling. And finally, we have Viking production. So we have room for more tanks, more cyclones. Oh, speaking of, as Hellions, they bust into the bottom left. They bust into another mineral line. Jumy is not running out of bank himself. I'm sure it goes off. It does pick up a couple of SCVs. I think Milky is having a hard time engaging. His army is just too thick. It's too thick, Batty. Oh. Nice time for the Raven. Okay, Raven goes down. Thors, they try to engage. Once again, going to be zoned away. Cyclones, they come in from behind. Nice flank. Very nice flank. Catching at 1, 2, all barely not all barely not on Tempest. 1 barely survives. On 2 HP. Oh, I spoke there. Never mind. All the Tempest go down. Zel's coming first round. Very nice run by. Very nice round. Zell say flank, they catch out a couple of Thors, and now we're in a really awkward game state. Where exactly are we economically? We do have some CCs, we have more orbitals floating over. The mules will help for sure here when it comes to Milky Cow's economy. Down at 44 SCVs. Essentially 1 base economy as he floats over his own natural. Oof. I believe his natural floats over here bottom left. So he doesn't have many expansions, doesn't have many SCVs. At the same time, Jumy, he does have top right. He has more efficient mining, even if just so slightly. Tempest are gonna calm down. Does rotate. Again, Jumy's going to be the first to max out, and Milky Cow, he just doesn't have the economy to sustain these losses. Just doesn't have it. Jumy's looking for another way in. Again, trading here is positive for Jumy. Ideally does want to trade. As Jumy is maxed. So I'm sorry, DT counterattack on left hand side. That's a lot of Templar. And no detection. Yeah, there's no detection. Remember, the orbitals are limited. Jumy diving in, chasing back the Thors. DT's where we're going. Oh, we're getting caught out. But GG gets caught. Jumy he overwhelms, and Jumy takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Ay. GG, well played. Jumy does take a lead in the series. Again, it all began with a hyper-aggressive build out of Milky Cow, and he was achieving so much damage. But we mentioned at the time, we saw the Milky Cow, he then slowed the game down. He did lose a couple too many Cyclones, of course, did try to build himself up. The big moment for Jumy when everything swung in his favor initially was the dive into the main and the non-stop force fields. Being able to force field the ramp and zone Milky Cow out of his own main base and his own main expansion. That did take away a little momentum that Milky Cow should have otherwise had. And then we had a bit of a back and 4th. I'm not in love with the idea of Milky Cow switching into Mass Thor. If you remember, he had like 10 to 11 Thors at one point, 2 Thor heavy against Skytoss. We did mention that ideally you want less Thors and more Vikings to be able to free up some supply for more tanks or more Cyclones, so you have just a more mobile composition in general here. We saw just a massive commitment to Thors, and because of that we saw so much difficulties when it came to trying to keep up with the movement, trying to keep up with the army, and trying to keep up with Jumy. But GG, well played. With that, we're now getting to game number 2. Going to be loading into 10,000. Sorry, loading into Tourmaline. Let's go. Let us go. Going to be loading into Tourmaline, and we'll see if Milky Cow can bounce back and force the ace match. We'll see if Jumy can claim it here and now. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Terran player. I have to fix up the names. With the red Terran, we have the red Terran for Team 3D Clan. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Milky Cow. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. Jumy. Hold on. Un momento. Filters. There we go. Bam. So we're getting into game number 2 here, and again we had a crazy start to game 1 with the double factory 1 base play. I don't expect to see Milky Cow go mech again though. Again, as I mentioned before, usually it's something you rely on once in a series. You don't really want to do it too often, so I'm leaning more towards bio. And again, we've seen a lot of very strong 2 base all-ins on Tourmaline, or even 1 base all-ins off of a bio opener. So eyes are on Milky Cow. We expect committed aggression this time. Here's what we're expecting. As Jumy does pick up the ramp. Checks the main, double gas opener once again out of Milky Cow. No shot, it goes double factory again, right? I mean, he's going for the same opener. It's going to be racks into factory, into early marine to deny the scout. So the scout's being denied once again. Early tech lab. It looks like the same build. Early tech lab into add-on swap into cyclone into another factory. We're expecting a second factory here. Now, if it's the same build, it will hit harder. True. As the bases are more exposed. There's the initial add-on swap. And show us that second factory. No. I mean, it's still 1 base all in, but we're going for a 1-1-1 instead at starport, not factory. Ah. Okay. Okay, yeah, my attention. Are we going into, are we going into drilling claws? Into mass widow mines? Into widow mine drops? Like, no shot we're going hellbats, right? It's got to be drilling claws. Question mark? Yo, thank you so much, son of a Vulcan. Gah, baby, God. Thank you so much. Estes fuck. But thank you so much for subscribing for 4 months. We appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting of the StarCraft. Thank you, puppy. Thank you. Do appreciate it. I need to get back around to watching Deep Space Nine. I need to. I have a bad habit of only watching shows when I'm like doing other things, and Star Trek is one of those shows where like I get engrossed and I want to watch it, which means I can't multitask. So it's makes it difficult to find the time to watch something like that. Makes it difficult. Do you know where we can find the Lily Cup replay pack? I believe we provided them to our subscribers. I believe that should have been the case. But I believe for Rongi Cup and Lily Cup, that's something that we have provided. Meanwhile, as we assumed, it is going to be drilling claws. So fast drilling claws into wood mine drops. Here comes the first Widow Miner here across the map. Back at home, it is going to be 3-gate blink. Sorry, 4-gate blink stalker, but no robo, no detection, no observer. Oh. As Widow Miner does burrow in. Oh, the retarget. Let's go. The retargeting. Delays as much as he can. So much lost mining time. And as yet to reveal, but I mean, there's no drilling clause yet, to be fair. We go first shot codes off. Denies so much mining. Here comes the next wave. This time with the upgrade. Jumy does not see the armory. And again, this is going to be brutal. Just because there is no Stargate or Robo or Forge. It's 4-gate blink. Did I say 4? It's 6. It's a 2-base 6-gate blink all in. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, what do I do? Burrow. Oh my god, massive connections. 4 probes going down. And here comes Jumy. It's all or nothing. 6 gateways, 2 base all in, bunkers are being thrown down, and 1 bunker's already done. We gotta fill up. Oh, yeah, it does go for the dive. Nice force shield, does stop any repairs. Yeah, no repairs on the first bunker. Tank does siege up. Blink is on cooldown. Ooh, and Jumy cannot break through. Yeah, Jumy, he's going for the dive. Yeah, does dive in. Gets the tank. Down to 5 stalkers, down to 4. Yeah, 3 stalkers left. GG gets called. Jumy, he cannot break through. He cannot overwhelm. And Milky Cow will type the series 1-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Across the map, again, there was no detection, so more mine shots were going off, more probes were going down. Again, we saw that Jumy was almost hard countered as he had 0 detection and was going all in himself. GG. GG, well played. Just 2-base, I should say, Jumy going for a 2-base all in, and instead, Milky Cow going for a cheeky build by rushing into that drilling clause. GG. GG, well played. An intense game 2 here, and now it all comes down to game number 3. Now, we've seen some quirky builds out of Milky Cow every game so far. Game 1, we saw double factory mech. Game 2, we saw 1-1-1 into early armory, into early drilling claws. Game 3, what do you have for us? In the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Terran player for Team 3D Clan, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. It is Milky Cow. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss, the German Protoss for Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. But yes, we should probably advertise a little bit more, but we do give out replay packs to our subscribers and to our patrons, depending on the tier of patron, of course. I think it's like $5. But we got replay packs of our tournaments, and tournaments we have permission to share as well, including Lily Cup. But otherwise, we are going for a double gas opener. Okay. Opening up double gas once again. Again, we've seen double gas every game so far at a Milky Cow. Last game, it was double gas into a factory, into a starport, into a hidden armory, into drilling claws. Show us what you got this time. Why is there frustration in the chat? OSC. OSC. Jumy going for a standard opener. There's that factory follow-up. Once again, Marine first. The Marine will be hunting down the probe, will be denying the scouts, and from here we can go for the early tech lab. We've done so every game so far in the series. Yeah, we just wall the probe in. And show us that tech. No, reactor this time. Okay, for the first time this series, reactor not tech lab is looking like a more standard build here. We should be seeing a command center next. Should be. As from here, we can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go for an add-on swap. Stargate opener out of Jumy. Bold move. Stargate play is quite rare nowadays. We often do see this on larger maps, and Title Citadel is one of the larger maps of the map. Well, I mean, compared to 10,000 feet and Ruby Rock. So Jumy also does mix it up. Meanwhile, there's that faster command center out of Milky Cow. I mean, I say faster command center, faster compared to every other game in this series. So Milky Cow going for a much more standard opener. Here come the committed mine drops. So by the time he has his medevac, he may be able to build up to 4 Widow Mines and might even continue mine drop play as well. Jumy should be backing up those Phoenixes. Phoenixes are on the way. Now, ideally, as a Protoss player, you want to save these Phoenixes. You want to bank them up back at home. You want to keep them hidden. And then, bam, once Milky Cow arrives with the Widow Mines, then you're able to surprise him with said Phoenixes to shut down the Widow Mines and also shut down the medevac as well. Are they Marauder? Huh. Okay. Are we going for a main push? Like, we already have 4 mines. We can build up to 6. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Going for the swap. Mine drop is going to be on the way. So far, we have 2 Phoenixes back at home, 3 Phoenixes in production. Here comes a drop. Get spotted. Get spotted by Jumy. Jumy is aware. Likewise, getting his robo, getting detection. Observers on the horizon. There's only 3 Widow Mines in the medevac. The 4th is waddling across the map on the ground. Phoenix is yet to be revealed. Milky Cow trying to drag back into the mine. Okay. Mine shot goes off, but he's going to be chased down. And he will lose that medevac. Oh, does boost away. Lifting up the Widow Mines. Oh, yeah, quite close. Widow Mines are going to be dealt with. And cleans up all the mines. At least the medevac does make it out. At least does confirm the Stargate, but 0 economic damage. And no economic damage is dealt. Took down 3 adepts. From here, Milky Cow is stuck at home. Milky Cow is contained. And again, we're going old school, going Phoenix into Colossus. I mean, we're getting there in a bit of a more awkward fashion, but again, much more old school. Rarely seen nowadays. So far, nice harass out of Jumy. Gets into the mineral line, catching out 3 more SCVs. Not bad. In doing so, he's expanding, claiming his 3rd. Building up a greater economy. And again, the goal here is to contain. To contain a Milky Cow. And to delay any kind of move out. As Milky Cow is forced to make Vikings, so limited medevacs, limited drop play. Still just that one medevac from the start of the game. He's massing up. 3rd TC out of Milky Cow. He's not going all in. Behind this is expanding. Saturating. Here comes the first Colossus for Jumy. And this is a bold move out of Milky Cow. He is moving out. Bearing in mind this is pre-stim, so the bio army here isn't really too effective when it comes to buffering. Or I should say when it comes to DPS. It's just really a buffer zone here for the tanks. Jumy, he spotted the initial move out, but he doesn't see the main army. Not yet. Uh-oh. Jumy gets across the map. SCVs are going down at the same time. Milky Cow is just going straight for the natural. He can get on top of the robo. The robo is exposed. He can go for it. Oh. Does engage with the Immortals. Tanks do siege. There's the recall. Yeah, there's recall. Go back home. Massive tank shots. Immortal goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Jumy is in danger. Here is in trouble. At the same time, drop it to the main. First Colossus has arrived. defends the main base. At the same time, Milky Cow, he's waddling in. And he slows this forward. Now, all these Phoenixes, they should catch the tanks at least, but now they on siege. Yeah, they're protected. We have 4 tanks in total. 12 probes go down, chasing down the Immortal as well. Massive pickoff. Oof. And Jumy's losing too much. He's losing far too much here. Sure, he has Phoenixes, but he needs more than that. He needs a gateway army. Phoenixes, they try to engage. We have plenty of Vikings. Vikings, they punish the Phoenixes. And tanks, they siege. They siege up. They take down the third. Oof. Third base will go down. And again, Jumy just didn't see this coming. He didn't know. He had all those Phoenixes, but he failed to see the move out. He wasn't ready for this. And with that Milky Cow, he has arrived. Massive tank shots on the Colossus. Does focus it down. Nice target firing. And GG gets called. GG gets called. There's nothing left to defend. And Milky Cow, he will claim the series 2-1, taking down Jumy. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Very diverse play here by Milky Cow. Again, game 1 he played mech. Game 2 we saw early drilling claws, and here in game 3 we did have a committed mine drop opener into the early tank push. But once again, Jumy, he had a decent start. He shut down the mine drop, he delayed and contained his opponents, but he failed to spot the move out. He didn't see the army committing across the map. Jumy was out of position. That's why he recalled back home. Ideally, with all those Phoenixes, you want to delay the push. You want to pick away at reinforcements and chip away at the fringe areas of that army, like tanks, like Vikings. Alas, he didn't see anything coming. He wasn't able to prepare shield batteries back at home, unable to warp in. The pants were down. The pants were down. GG, well played. And Milky Cow does snowball out of control. It does claim that series. And with that, we have 1 series left in the upper brackets. This time switching over into a PVZ, going to be covering GgMaChine versus Rebellion. Let's go. Taking a break from the Terran and Protoss and now embracing a little bit of Zerg here. Coming into this matchup, it's going to be an interesting dynamic, of course, as we have some Korean on European action. There's a lot to get into. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the pink Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing among SSU people. It is Rebellion. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the orange Zerg player representing Team Stanley Bulls. It is GgMaChine. Let's go. Let us go. We have our ZVP here, and stepping into this here, Rebellion is a very aggressive Protoss player in this matchup. We often see a lot of 2-base play. Think Glaive Adepts or Tempest Rush or Carrier Rush or 2-base or even 3-base 8-gate all-in. We typically see hyper-aggressive builds out of Rebellion. At the same time, GgMaChine, he does thrive in the mid-game and the mid to late game. GgMaChine, he's one of those younger up-and-coming Zerg players in Europe. He's, what, like 17 years old? He's been improving very heavily over the past 2 years, even 3 years. Has been improving, has been leveling up. And at this point, I would say GgMaChine, he's getting up to, what, like top 5 Zerg in Europe? Like, I think I put him slightly below Young Yakov. Slightly below. And Yakov is like top 4, so yeah. So GgMaChine has been improving quite heavily. It's definitely getting up there. See, GgMaChine is who Eba could have been if Eba didn't get enamored by Protoss. If he Smooge, baby, Smooge. Este Eba. SMH my head. I mean, to be fair, Eba has been playing a little bit more recently, but I just... God damn it. So now GgMaChine, he's going to be droning, saturating, building up, getting to his own hatch gas pool. And we'll see how Rebellion decides to open up. Based on the pylon, it does seem like Stargate play out of Rebellion, but it's not about the opener, it's about the follow-up, right? Stargate into what? Into early Twilight Council, lack of Forge, Glaive Adepts, DTs, Blink Stalkers, delayed third base, eyes on Rebellion. Oh, Robo. Okay. Robo opener out of our Protoss player. Very interesting. There are some older builds that did go like Robo into Bay into like Colossus drop or Disruptor drop. They're very old, very niche builds. Like they were a little bit more common back in like 2022, 2023. But otherwise, we could see the beginning of, say, something like a Soul Train-esque all-in with Immortal production in towards vanilla units here into Sentries. The other option is Robo into Twilight Council in towards a Templar Archives, but no, Robo into early Forge. We get a free scout. Oh, that should not have happened. Lings, they slip in, the wall was open, and GgMaChine gets a free scout of the main base. He confirms the Robo and the Forge. Now the Forge tells us that we're going to be going for either a +1 or +2 timing attack, so this is going to hit a little bit later. We have the Prison first to harass early on, but this feels like a +2 rush thing going into Colossus. We'll see. Yeah. We're taking up, and meanwhile early Roach run here out of GgMaChine as a reaction, as a response. So in my mind, this looks like Robo into Forge +1, into Twilight Council, into Temple Archives, into Archons. If the goal was to go into Charge or Blink, then we would have started with Twilight Council. So this looks like a delayed Archon drop. It looks like. Into a third base, into a +2 timing with Colossus. But we'll see, we'll see. Like it's always hard to get a read on Rebellion. Blink, no Archons. Okay. It's kind of weird. What was the point of the prison? That's the real question. Meanwhile, with GgMaChine, he's making roaches. He's building up. He does run up to 49. That's some saturation here. And GgMaChine, he can't commit. He can't commit with roaches and lings. And he may just go all in. Okay, water goes down. Do we just turn this into like an 8 gate? Is that what's happening? With +1? I'm still trying to figure it out. We're getting up to 5 gates so far, I believe. Yep. Sorry, we're getting up to 6 gateways. So he's got a 6 gate setup. Our Zerg player does counterattack. Doesn't find much damage though. This is hurting GgMaChine. This could have been drones. This could have been workers earlier as well. Could have been faster saturation. +1 is now done. The 6 gateways are finishing. And this is kind of working here. I mean, because of the build itself, he's been forcing some reactions out of GgMaChine. He's been forcing some inefficient reactions and inefficient decisions out of our Zerg player. Because I believe GgMaChine thought it was an all-in coming his way, and it wasn't. It is going to be a +2 timing. I assumed it was going to be +2 Colossus, but no, it's going to be +2 with Mass Gateway and Immortals. Okay. As that is the 7th gateway. We're staying on a low gas count. Only 4 gas geysers. So it's got to be an 8 gate all in, but hitting with +2 and Immortals. Yeah. It's interesting. We'll see how well it works. Like, the problem here is that GgMaChine did run up to 3 bases, right? He's getting a 4th base just for larva, and he's not over-droning. Like, the mistake here would be if GgMaChine, if he drone up to, say, 80 workers, like, then he'd be in trouble. But he's staying on a lower drone count, he's focusing and fixating on mainly his army. So he should be okay. There's the 8th gateway and the 9th gateway. So it's going to be a 3 base 9 gate all in with +2. GgMaChine is almost maxed. Catching out the army. Diving on the sentries. And we had some force fields. That's the only force field. So we're just locking down the army piles. They zone back the army. He cannot kite away. And he's going to kill everything. It just swallows up the entire army here. Rebellion. He just crumbles in supply. And again, this build had some interesting quirks to it. Unfortunately, the biggest issue was it was just scouted too early. Like, it was telegraphed so ahead of time. Not the build specifically, but the aggressiveness, the aggressive nature of the build. As GgMaChine, he did cut workers early, fixated on purely Ling Road Ravager, and will overwhelm. Rebellion GG gets called, and GgMaChine, he takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, it was a really quirky build out of Rebellion, and GgMaChine, I believe he didn't really know what was going on, but he didn't need to. He played it safe, right? He got a 340 Roach Warren timing. He did cut workers a little bit early at 47, but then when he realized that his opponent was expanding and getting a third, he droned up to 66. He didn't over drone, didn't drone up to 70, didn't drone up to 80, cut workers at 3 base saturation, and then just focus on purely Ling Roach Ravager because he assumed that Rebellion was going for an early push and an early timing, and he was going for an early push. So GgMaChine, he was more than ready for it. GG, well played. I can see this build maybe working if there wasn't a Link Scout early on, and if there was no Overlord Scout. Like, specifically, if the initial 2 scouts were denied, then I can see this working just because your opponent is not aware as to the timings, is not aware as to how aggressive you're being or how not aggressive you're being, and maybe they overreact and over respond. But GG. And with that, loading in the bottom left hand corner, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Green Protoss player, the Pink Protoss, representing among us 2 people. It is Rebellion. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Orange Zerg player, representing his new team, Stowny Bulls. It is GgMaChine. Go. So settling into game 2, and I would expect to see a different build here. Again, Rebellion, he does actually come up with a lot of his own builds, and he does often refine them with his friends, with Farmy and Lunacy and Prome and all the other Korean Protosses. They cook, baby, they cook. And I'll be surprised to see a standard opener so far. Gate expand. Likewise, hatch gas pool out of GgMaChine. Everything looking as it should. On a larger map, it would make more sense to go Stargate, and we might even see Stargate into Void Ray. That's what I'm leaning towards this early on. So I fixed up some audio issues after the break. I'll fix them up. Just realize the audio quality might be lower than it usually is. As from here, we're soon getting into our tech of choice. Based on the pylon placement, I'm assuming Stargate, but never mind. Twilight Council. Bold move. Going straight Twilight Council. Once again, there's a higher chance that this gets scouted, but that is also why we did see a Stalker opener here out of Rebellion to make sure there is no scout. So he zones away that Overlord, keeping GgMaChine in the dark. Ling speed is on the way. GgMaChine does pull out of gas, so there's no early Baliness or Roach Warren. Just drones. And Rebellion, there's no forge. There's no forge. When it comes to the gas mining here, still 3 and 3. It's looking like either DTs or a 6-gate setup with glaives. Typically, it's one or the other. Glaives are on the way, but we have all this gas. But no robo. True. Ah, nice way too soon. There's a robo. So robo is thrown down. We're throwing down extra gateways. This might be Adepts plus Dark Templar. He does pull one out. Does pull 2 out. Okay. He's pulling out of gas. Looking less like Dark Templar. If it's ZTs, you usually keep 3 and 3 in. So 6 would be mining. Building up to 3 gateways. Building up to 4. So 4 gate glaives. This is quite committed. The purpose of this build, of course, is to deal crippling economic damage. It does also mean the third base is heavily delayed. GgMaChine checks, he's looking for the third, he sees that there is none, and we have a safety roach one out of GgMaChine. So far, good reaction, good response. Oh, extra gateways. And he pulls back in. Yeah, he pulls back in, so this is instead going to be an all-in. Jesus. Oh, God. It is going to be a 2-base 6-gate all-in. 6-gate glaives all-in. This is going to hit very, very hard here, and if GgMaChine over drones, he's going to be in trouble. Thankfully, does cut workers at 41, so cut workers early. Roach production will soon begin. GgMaChine is supply blocked. But he does put the move out. And he knows. Yeah, he does see, he does know. He's fully worthy depths. Back at home, no wall. Uh-oh. No SimCity. Nice thing, runway. Distracting, delaying the push. Does lay the adepts. Roaches are amassing. Again, lack of SimCity is concerning, but GgMaChine going for the lair in the middle of this all-in. Can he get away with it? That's Adepts, they threaten a dive. They race back home. So far, GgMaChine is keeping up with the shades. Oh, do we commit? He does. Yeah, he commits into the third. Lings are going down. Drones, they pull away. Good reaction so far. Yeah, so far, good reactions. Roaches, they keep up. They lock down the Adepts. Oh, and Adepts are going down. Yeah, brutal losses here for Rebellion. Losing too much. Has to pull away behind this building of Immortals back at home. And so far, this push is failing. Yeah, so far GgMaChine is all over this. Picking up how many? Picking up 11 Adepts. GgMaChine, he joins up a little bit. His lair is now done. We have Roach speed on the way. And Rebellion needs more damage. He needs more. Gets one drone. Gets one worker. We can see GgMaChine just making sure there's no expansion. One Adept shades into the main. Getting 2 drone kills. Catching out 2 workers. Ravagers do more fin. Looks like Speed is going to finish in the middle of the fight. And again, there's no macroing out of this Rebellion. Like, he has to commit. It's all or nothing. Big supply block for GgMaChine. 6 Overlords. Oh. 6 Overlords on the way. Rebellion sets up for the expand. It's so late though. As it builds up to 27 Adepts. It's a lot of Adepts. More importantly, there are 3 Immortals. Lings are getting ready for a surround. We're committing in. Oh. Yeah, it does go for the dive. Legacy move for this round. Biles, they graze the army, no major connections. We're trying to get on top of the Immortals. Nice juggling here by Rebellion. But Adepts are going down. Yeah, Adepts are going down. Biles, they zone away. Without any Adepts, the Immortals are on their own. And there's just not enough. Yeah, there's not enough support. The Biles! Oh my god. They've zoned away the Prism. Down to 2 Immortals, and Rebellion has been dealt with. Back at home, he does have a third on the way, but there's nothing else left back at home. There's no tech. There's no tech, there's no upgrades, there's no Forge, there's no +1, there's no Storm or Colossus or second Robo or anything like that. There is no setup. And GgMaChine is here to claim the series. He's here to take it. Starter steps in, takes out the third. And GG gets called. GG gets called. GgMaChine, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on into the next round. GG. GG, well played. A hyper aggressive series here by Rebellion. Game 1 going for a quirky, weird 3-base 9-gate blink all in with +2. It hit very late, but it got scouted early on, or at least aggression was seen early on, and GgMaChine, who was ready for it. Here in game 2, we saw straight up glaive adapts, but we saw committed 6-gate glaive build. I think we got up to 7 gateways actually, but hyper aggressive there on 2 bases. Unfortunately, GgMaChine, he did scout the early Twilight Council, and he made sure he didn't overdrone. He cut workers at 41, and then later at 44, and then later at 49. Like, again, just very, very sparingly when it comes to droning. Fixated on purely Lingro Travager. GG. GG, well played. Again, if the Zerg player was greedier, if they were more confident, if they were overconfident and droned up a little bit too much, if they were lacking scouting information, different story. But GgMaChine, he reacted well. He reacted well, Pappy. And with that, so that does conclude our upper portion coverage here of the initial of OSC Elite Rising Star Day number 4 for the 18th edition. It does conclude the first half of the broadcast. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have the second half. We're going to be jumping into the lower bracket instead. Again, this is a double elimination tournament. We have plenty of lower bracket matches. When we return, we will have a Hydra versus Shino in another PVZ. So we'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we returned. We returned here with the second half of the broadcast. We returned this time with the lower brackets. We were just covering the upper bracket matches here to determine the top 4 players in the upper portion of the tournament, but now we're coming in to determine who's going to be eliminated from the tournament itself, bearing in mind that players like Inexorable, players like Jumy, and players like Rebellion, even though they just lost their previous matches, they are knocked down to the lower bracket where they still have a safety net to catch them for another chance at redemption. So they do have another chance, they do have more matches ahead of them. For now though, we're jumping into our PvZ. Up next is going to be Hydra versus Shino. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on the Old Republic. Let us go. Yo, exclamation mark STC in the chat, let's go. See, papi, see. It's our weekly Open Cup every week, but here we go. Spawning in the right corner of the Old Republic, we have the green Protoss player, the green Protoss player himself, from the land of the Netherlands. It is Hydra. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the French Zerg player, the red Zerg. It is Shino. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats as we delve into our PvZ. Now, coming into this, I will say that Hydra is a little more mid-game oriented. He's less aggressive than what we saw out of Rebellion, for example. Rebellion is crazy, Rebellion is wild. Here we should be seeing something a little bit more standard out of Hydra. From the side of Shino, I don't really know what to expect exactly. Unfortunately, we don't really get to cast too many of his matches. We did feature Shino previously against GgMaChine in his EVZ. We also featured him against Babe Marine in his EVT as well, but we've yet to feature him against Protoss this tournament. We've yet to see what Shino brings to the table against Protoss instead. Let's find out. For now, unnatural. Force to expand on the low ground at the 3rd location. As from here, we are just calming down. We're settling in. Let's go. Again, do appreciate to see Hydra again. Hydra, he has been less active as of late. He's been much less active. So great to see he's still looking to compete and still active in the OSC circuit. Still active. Do appreciate it. As our players are opening up. From here, we're going to be looking at our first signs of tech. So it's going to be whether or not we see Hydra go Stargate, Robo, or Twilight Council. Oh, hello. I didn't mention, I'll have to walk back on what I just said. I was like, oh no, yeah, Hydra, he's typically a standard player. Based on this pylon placement, it looks more sinister. Typically, you don't hide a Stargate like this. You can, don't get me wrong, you can, and you can try to do this to lure in the Overlord and go for like a Void Ray opener. But otherwise, if it's behind the mineral line, usually it's the hide tech. Usually. There are always exceptions to the rule, of course. Overlord does go in. It's going to be an Adept opener, not a Stalker. Is still going to be the Stargate. Now, I'm curious, as I just mentioned, if we hide the Stargate, is it to go into a Void Ray? That would make the most sense. To go for a Void Ray opener to hunt down the Overlord, and then to hide what comes next. As the Overlord does dip in, the Overlord is forced to go further into the main to scout. That does expose the Overlord even further. Behind this, Shino's claiming a 3rd. Droning, saturating, playing standard. Shino does see the pylon and does confirm the Stargate. Does confirm. Stargate is now done, and it is going to be Oracle first, no Void Ray. Okay, never mind. It is opening up Oracle, has been scouted, has been seen. I'm still interested in its location. I'm curious to see where Hydra leads us to from here, whether he goes into a standard build into additional oracles, or if he does indeed go for something like a fleet beacon. But that would typically be off of a Void Ray, so leaning more towards a standard build. As the 3rd should soon be taken. Overlord is in position for a rescout. Oh, and that is going to be a Twilight Council before expanding. Okay. Much more aggressive build here from Hydra. Much more aggressive. So now we're seeing it all come together. Early Council. Oracle dips in. No major damage. Doesn't get a drone. With the early Twilight Council, this leans towards Glaive Adepts. So we're expecting Glaives here out of Hydra. Technically, this can lead into Blink or into Charge. But typically, there'd be a Forge if that was the case. I also don't see a Robo. Oh my god. It's a lot of gateways, though. Okay, so a very late expansion here going into Glaives. Throws down 3 more gateways. So 5 gates set up here for Hydra. Very committed. And Sheena should be where something's wrong. Like, the lack of third base is concerning. The third is late, but it's still on the way. And Sheena, upon seeing this, he might think it's a standard build. It's anything but. I did apologize to reset my mic, so I'll have to do that after this game. Oh, speaking of, my apologies. If you're in the chat, it's Gamba time. There we go. I knew I forgot something. Oh. Is it not Gamba time? One moment. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's already open earlier. And did already open it. But from here, we're going to be building up. Again, Glaives are almost done. Adepts are amassing. We have our first wave getting across the map. Only 4. Waiting for the next wave. As things get across the map, plenty of adepts to defend. So Lings are being thrown away here. Yeah, late reaction from Shino. Bleeds out a lot of Zerglings. Queens are exposed. We're going for the dive. Only 1 transfuse. Only 1. Oh, but does trade. Not the worst trade here from Shino, I should say. Picks off all the depths, losing 1 queen. But here comes the rest of the army, and back at home, what do we have to defend? Roach production has begun. We have 9 roaches on the way as we speak. Adepts have arrived. They're shading in. Roaches just now popping out. Just barely in time. Yeah, just barely in time here so far. Just getting 1 drone. Adepts are being dealt with. And so far so good. Shino, he's holding. He's holding on. Minimal losses. No game hard. Never mind. As we're losing more drones, losing up to 7. 7 drone kills so far. More adepts into the third base. Is getting out of hand. Yeah, it's getting out of hand here. As they trade well against these Zerglings. Roach is trying to keep up. More adepts here into the natural. From 7 getting up to 10 drones. Nothing critical yet. No critical damage. As Shino, he's still on a decent drone count. He does have to re-drone, resaturate. 7 more drones on the way. And we're in an awkward game state here. On the one hand, Hydra did throw away a lot of adepts. Back at home, he's trying to transition. We have, I believe, no charge. Yeah, no charge yet. No further upgrades, immortals, and adepts. Working on 1-1 upgrades and getting a second robo into double immortal production. Jesus. At the same time, Shino has drone up to 84. Oh no, no hold position. No hold position micro. Lings, they flood in. They get a free scout. They confirm lack of upgrade here. They confirm double forge. You already had to get on that time. Sure, sure. As again, Hydra's just hurling up. His double immortal production is getting well underway. Now into the bay and towards Colossus. Just perfecting his army. At the same time, Shino, he should be the first to max out, the first to hit Hive and Lurker Tech. And we're hoping that Shino doesn't take too long, right? He has to be active. He has to be active. He has to do something here about the fourth base. He cannot just let it get up and running. At the same time, the Lurkers aren't ready yet. We need the Lankers. We need the Vipers. So we have Lurker range on the way. No Vipers yet. Shino, he's maxed out. And again, he has to apply pressure here. Setting up for a Doom Drop. I would prefer just a frontal assault, but it's getting a little bit too late. And now he scouts the fourth base. Oof. He's going for the Doom Drop. At the same time, Hydra's taking up into Sky Toss. And he's got to be stopped soon, Pappy. He's going in. Shino. He's diving for the main. Going for at least the upgrades. Does force a recall. +1 is denied. At the same time, the main army does push in, going for the cannons. The boys are being pulled into the army. But a questionable move here from Hydra. Does pull the boys in. Lurkers have arrived. Colossus, they defend the main. A bit of a chaotic assault here from Shino. Going for the Colossus. He wants them. He wants a Colossi. Oh, where are we going? Nice time of the Observer. Very nice snipe. The Lurkers are still a little bit too far back, though. Drop back into the main. Again, ideally, these Lurkers would have been within range of the Nexus, but there we go. They're now moving forward. And this center base should fall. The main army is still terrifying, true. Still a terrifying army. Oh no, the Colossus in the missed rally. Rallies into Shino. And Shino's doing it. Supply blocks his opponents. Again, it's still a very hefty immortal count. It is still terrifying. But ideally, Shino is able to engage ahead of time and then rebuild. Rebuild and then remax. That should be the goal. That's Hydra's all in. It's all or nothing. Either he kills Shino or he dies trying. That's 12 Lurkers are morphing in. It's plenty of Lurkers. Drop back into the natural. Nice setup. Very nice setup. Reposition the spores. It does reposition, and again, Hydra, he has to commit in. It's a really hard decision to make here. I mean, what else can he do? He's losing his natural. Everything's on fire. GG gets called. No final fight, and Shino takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh, un momento. Test. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I was meant to do that during the break, so I do apologize. But here we go. We're loading into game number 2 here again. GG well played. Hydra, he was very aggressive and very committed early on. Remember, it was initially a Stargate opener, but then into a very fast Twilight Council into 5 Gate Glaive Adepts. And he was able to get some damage, but not enough. It was 10 drone kills, but remember, he had a very late 3rd expansion, very late tech as well. So even though he was able to kill some workers, we still saw that Shino was able to freely join up to 84 workers, tech up as well. My big concern was whether or not Hydra would be defensive enough and would be left alone to take up into Sky Toss, but alas, we saw that Shino did break him just before Sky Toss. GG well played, and with that, we're now getting to game number 2. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the green Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is a Hydra. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. We have the French Zerg. It is Shino. Here we go. Now, we did see something crazy out of Hydra last game. Loading into Winter Madness, my eyes are on Hydra to go standard this time, to go Stargate into a 3rd base, then into +1 and Blink. It would make more sense to play standard on Winter Madness because of the size of the map, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on Hydra, we'll keep an eye on Shino, we'll see if our players do deviate. Let's go. Just don't forget the stretch. Don't forget the stretch. As we have our standard openers, Hatch Gas pull out of Shino. Likewise, Hydra going to be opening up standard as well. Everything's looking normal so far. We're just kind of waiting for our tech. When it comes to Winter Madness again is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Longer rush distance by ground, has a much more secure 3rd and 4th base. The entrances here into the 3rd and into the 4th base are much more narrow. And likewise, the bases are relatively close together, closer compared to Tythos Citadel, for example, or closer compared to White Rabbit. So easier rotations, more defendable bases. Oh, hello. As Shino goes for a very fast 3rd hatchery. A bit of a greedier build here out of Shino. This does mean that his 2nd queen is going to be delayed. So delayed 2nd queen out of our Zerg player. Only making 1. So only 1 queen. The other queen again is going to be delayed due to the faster expansion. So this does mean that the queen count is going to be lower earlier on, and it means that Hydra might find a little bit more damage here. It's going to be on Hydra to punish this in some way. We'll see if he can. Likewise, Shino, he has no early Zerglings either. Adept does move out. And we have a 2nd on the way. Likewise, Stargate opener out of Hydra. This time he's not hiding it behind the mineral line. There's no like crazy shenanigans early on this time. Standard setup. Depth does shade in. And it looks like the Lings, they pop out just in time. Just in time. Okay, cancels the shade. Zerglings are out. Hydra pulls away. And from here, we're just macroing up. We're just macroing up from this point, taking our gateways, claiming our 3rd bases. Oracle opener. And this time, Hydra's expanding. This time, there's no crazy early Twilight Council. We're expanding. As the 3rd is now going to be thrown down. From here, we're expecting a Twilight Council on a Forge as the 3rd base is finishing. If we see it earlier than that, then we'll take note of it. As Oracle pokes in. Ooh, sustains a lot of hull damage. Meanwhile, that's an early Twilight Council. Okay, much, I mean, not as early as last game, but still early nonetheless. Another gateway gets thrown down. 2 more gateways. This looks like Glaive Adepts. So it looks like hidden Glaive Adepts here. This does hit later than last game, true, does hit much later, but again, the goal here is to catch your opponent droning. Because everything looks normal, because everything looks standard, Shino should skip roaches. There's a high chance that he will skip roaches, he will skip banelings, he's going Evo Chamber into +1 melee, he's going Ling Hydra or Ling Vayne, sorry, Ling Hydra or Ling Muta. So Shino's cutting corners, Shino's being greedy, and bam, there it is, as we mentioned, Glaive Adepts. So Shino, currently the pants are down, and we'll see if they stay down. Oh boy. There is still a chance that we might just see a safety Baneling Nest. There is a chance that might happen here. And that will allow Shino to defend. But otherwise, if he drones, he may just topple over and die. May just topple over. Say poke in. More Adepts are warping in back at home. And they should be banking up. Oh, they're warping into the third. This is a little bit risky here. There's a higher chance to get scouted, but they have not been seen so far. Yeah, Shino, he now sees. He knows. He now knows what's going on. Back at home, we need something to defend. Instantly throws down the Baneling Nest. It does finish faster than a Roach Warren. And he needs Lings. He needs as many Zerglings and Banelings as possible. Shino's in trouble. 14 Lings are on the way. At least he's scouted. At least he knows. Otherwise, he could have just died then and there. This time he has a chance. Ooh, does commit to the shade. Yeah, commits in. Station traps are being denied. And Lings, they do get us around. They try to at least. And they're trading. Yeah, they're trading. They're dealing with the Adepts. Station trap goes off, catching 1 drone. And Shino is holding. It looks like drones are finally going to be going down though. Getting 2, getting 3, getting 4 drone kills. Oof. I believe only 4. Never mind, 14 in total. That's a lot of damage. Oh, here at the natural. So here at the third. Yeah, Adepts are popping off. Shading to the natural as well. And this is getting out of hand. It's becoming too much. More Adepts are coming. So now looking to shade further in. These Adepts are there on just move commands. They were just patrolling. So no shade. In the end, that was 16 drone kills. 16 drones were down for 19 Adepts. Not a bad trade here for Hydra. Ideally, he wanted a little bit more. You can see back at him, he's getting ready for the counterattack. He's getting ready with his sentries, force fields, immortals. Hydra should be able to hold his own. Attempts to surround. Nice force field. Protecting the immortal. Does protect. Denying surface area. And Shino, he has a lot of droning to do. He's droning, he's saturating, again, he's trying to build up into Hydra production, into Ling Hydra. Didn't straight up die to the Adepts, thankfully. Again, he had some seconds to react and respond. But still needs more. Still does need more. Meanwhile, Hydra, he's not expanding, he's not taking gases. Hydra's pushing here and now with how many? With 3 immortals. 3 immortals, mass sentry, mass Adepts to buffer, to support. It's all or nothing. So big 3 base all in here by Hydra. And Shino, he needs a little bit more time. He needs more time. As he still does not have enough. The force fields are going to be the big deciding factor here. Bearing in mind there are no Ravagers, so there's no answer to the force fields. And he can just wall off. Yeah, he can just wall off this ramp. Hydra trying to come in from behind. Going for the Prism. Oh! Prism goes down. Catching reinforcements as well is maybe the best fight that we could have hoped for Shino, but he still will lose the expansion. 4th base goes down. Banelings are, that's a lot of Banelings. They're rolling in. Massive connections. Oh my god. Their Banelings, they smash into the Adepts. Not a bad trade here from Shino, not a bad fight. But Shino needs more. Needs more. As Hydras are being zoned away, Force Field is doing a great job here of just minimizing DPS. Hydras have to push forward, and it looks like there are enough Hydras though. Oof. Catches out the Immortal. Immortal goes down. Again, the Banelings, they did do well enough. They were a big factor there dealing with the Adepts. And Shino, he did lose the base, but he did preserve the workers. 71 drones. You can see Hydra getting ready for the counterattack. Hydra, he was all in. Remember, Hydra, he had no +2, he had no Bay, no Robo, no further attack, no Blink, no charge. Like, that was meant to kill. That was meant to end the game. And Hydra, he fails to kill Shino. That was it, man. That was all he had. Shino, he's now teching. I was gonna say we can do one of two things. We can either go for a counter all in, or we can start to like double expand, drone up, and get into Hive tech. And it looks like the plan here is to go into Hive. So we are going to be teching. We're going to be slowing things down. This does give Hydra the opportunity to recover. He's still, of course, recovering. And what we are hoping from Shino in this position is to at least apply pressure at the 4th base. Right? He has the army supply lead. To be fair, he doesn't know this. No, sorry, he scouts the 4th. Does scout the 4th base. He knows. Banelings, they attempt to drop in. They get 6 probes. Down to the 3rd. Not bad. Catching out more workers, 15 in total. Banelings to roll into the natural. Going to be dealt with. Here's him into the main. Again, just being annoying. Queen? Okay, calm down, Queen. Por favor. As Shino's almost maxed out, and again his goal should be to make sure that Hydra never expands and claims the 4th, and never does fully saturate. Let's see if Shino can deny that 4th base. As Shino's running up to 80. Likewise, Hive has now begun. I'm hoping that we're not going to wait for Hive Tech, because Hive Tech is a ways away. Uh-oh. That's when Hydra, he is amassing, waiting for his Banelings. Another drop here into the natural. This would be the time to activate and to try to strike. I mean, the army's in position. How many force fields? One. Okay, only 1 sentry. Okay. Shino, he should be able to break this position. But he's actually going for the nice force fields. Shino, he does not break through. Shaky trade out of Shino. I feel like if he had focus here, then he could have broken through. But again, he went into the natural. Sorry, he went into the 3rd instead. And that was a waste of supply, and likewise a waste of time, as we're still trying to tech up. Hydra's stabilizing. It's happening. Hydra's almost there. Again, he was so far behind. Shino going for run bys. They might slip through. Okay. They're all rather in one direction. Once again, Shino needs to deny the 5th base. And as they roll in. And no major damage. Waiting for the lurkers. Waiting for the lunkers. Hydra's moving out. He should not find the lurkers themselves. It's gonna be close. Oh. Gets one. And one lurker goes down. Ducks 1, 2, 3. Up to 3. Doesn't kill any though. Yeah, the Colossus, they do walk away. They survive. At the same time, nice banding run by. Nice counter attack. Well done here by Shino. As again, it's just trying to buy some time. Yeah, lurkers in position. Down to only one Viper. And the Viper needs energy. Needs time. Oh. Yes, Hydras are just fooling. At the same time, Shino does go for another run by. Trades well against the Stalkers, but Shino's in trouble back at home. He needs Larva. No injects. Yeah, he's not been injecting. His macro is slipping. Yeah, no injects, no Larva. Shino, he has money, but he can't spend it. Up. Does sneak up. Takes out 2 Colossus. Very nice. 2 Colossus go down. Shino, he needs to inject his queens. Yeah, he only has 3. Only 3 queens. Due to being unable to spend his money, again, Hydra has a comparable army. If not greater army currently, he does. Yeah, Hydra, he might just break through. Nice snipe. Hydra does catch one of the lurkers. Now he commits in. Nice lurker shot, so. Oh my god, the army's stacking up. Yeah, the army does stack. Blinks forward into the Hydras. Nice biting clouds. Ducks as well. A very messy engagement. Very messy. He's messy, Pappy. Do we have one more abduction? What a mess. Gets the Colossus. And with that, Shino, he barely holds on here. Again, a very messy fight. He lost every single lurker, but Shino is holding. He's holding on. Deny the expansion, Pappy. So we're morphing in 15 lurkers. Lings are going straight for the 3rd. So far, nice economic damage. Oof. Crazy whole position micro. Catching out more probes. Crazy damage across the map. And Shino has this. Shino, he has survived. Now is able to spend his bank building up all these lurkers. Claiming more bases. Spending his money. Oh, that's one. Guess who? GG gets called. GG gets called, and Shino, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Shino, he will claim the series. A very intense back and forth here in game number 2. Game 1 was more in favor of Shino, was more kind of clear cut. Here in game 2, though, we saw a little bit more of a back and forth. We saw that Shino was at times maybe a little bit tentative, or maybe just a little bit concerned about maintaining a lead and did play it safe. That did give Hydra some time to recover and to actually bounce back and actually have the back and forth. But GG. GG well played in the end. Shino will still claim the series. And with that, Shino, he will advance on. Meanwhile, Hydra is out of the tournament. Hydra is out. And we have a couple more elimination matches ahead of us here. Up next, we do have our next series. It's going to be a PvT between Sebesdes and Defiance. Oh boy. back to the PVTs. Vámonos. Game 1 is going to be on Ruby Rock. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the yellow Protoss player. The yellow Protoss representing Team Roddy from the land of Czechia. It is Sebesdes. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the American Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Defiance. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Get your gamba going, as predictions are open for the next couple of moments here, next couple of minutes. So place your bets while you can. Now, coming into this series, Sebesdes is the more favored player. Defiance is one of the more up-and-coming players out there. He's still kind of rising through the ranks. He's still around Masters level. So there is a skill disparity between those two players. But shout out to Defiance for actually, you know, competing, for looking to face off against some of the best players in the world. And we'll see if he has some cheeky builds. So far, double gas. Double gas opener means a faster factory, and there's a high chance we might just see a one-base all-in. We've already seen some crazy builds out of Milky Cow. We might see even crazier builds here out of Defiance. Let's go. Let's go. So far, again, we do have our initial setup. Nothing crazy so far, except for, of course, the double gas. With this, we're going Reaper first, not Marine, so there's a higher chance that Defiance will expand. Opening up double Reaper. Looks like double Reaper Hellion. Sebesdes is keeping his probe alive across the map. Can always dip back in. As Reaper does get across. Oh, Stargate opener out of Sebesdes on Ruby Rock. Bold move. Bold move out of Sebesdes. But I mean, he's on Team Roddy, so I mean, it makes sense. They like their Phoenixes. Reprobe Scout confirms the CC on the low ground. So Sebesdes, he knows there's no crazy one base all in, and he also knows that there is, of course, a standard, more economic start or follow up after the factory. So where? Interesting. Meanwhile, I assume it's going to be Reaper Hellion, and we kind of have Reaper Hellion. It's going to be 3 Reapers, but only a singular Hellion instead into Widow Mine drops. Okay. So the Mine drop follow-up. Defiance does move out. Ooh, does run into the depths. Losing 1 Reaper already. Late reaction. Yeah, late reaction out of Defiance. Rough start. Ooh, losing the Hellion as well. Aye, that should not be happening. This early on, ideally want to keep these units alive to be able to go for a rescout or go for economic damage later on. But here we're losing them for nothing. As initial Oracle dips in, it's going to be Stargate into Oracle, not Phoenix. SCV is going to be going down. No anti-air. No shot. There's actually no anti. Nothing shoots up. No. Yeah, no safety Cyclone because of the Widow Mines. And it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand already here. Wait, there's no medevac? It was just a Widow Mine drop defensive opener? Ugh. Yeah, so no medevac, no drop play, 7 SCV kills, critical damage. Widow Mines are still staying here back at home at the natural and the mineral line. And so far, just a very strong start here for Sebesdes, as there's been no counter damage and also no scouting. Again, there was no realization that there was a Stargate. No vision across the map. rough start for the Terran. A rough start for the Terran player here, as now we're building up in 2 bases, getting to tanks, building up the bio, but the reality is that Defiance is very far behind economically. You can even see here 29 SCVs plus mules against 46 probes and soon to be a 3rd base. Like, Defiance is falling further behind, and at this point, due to all the early economic damage, what makes sense in my mind is a 2-base all-in. Like, a 2-base all-in would make sense. Unfortunately, it looks like we're waiting for Stim, so it's going to be a delayed all-in if that is the case. It's going to be hitting much later. So Sebesdes, he has time. He has time to build up his army, build up more Blink Stalkers. It's time to build up. And he might just even break the natural. Do we have a tank in position? There's one. Yeah, one tank is in position, diving on the tank. Tank is going to go down. No repairs. Boys are being pulled. And they will defend the bunker at least. Bunker is protected. As best as he can rotate over into the main. No tank. No. No tank in the main base. Denying the add-ons. And going for combat shields. Yeah, combat shields is denied. Tank is exposed, diving on the tank. No, the tank goes down. And again, it's just getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Catching out 8 SCVs. At least Stim is going to finish. That's the one thing going Defiance's way. Stim will complete. We're throwing in extra Raxes here, getting it to 5 Raxes on 2 bases. But it feels like too long to really get that underway. As the best as he has more pickups, trying to bait out of Stim. I believe there are no medevacs. Yep, 0 medevacs. Every Stim is going to kill this army, and we're just going to kill it. We're just going to commit. Yeah, GG gets called, gets overwhelmed, and Sebesdes, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, just a really rough start here for Defiance. Bearing in mind it was a double gassed opener, and it looked like it was leading into a wood mine drop, but there were no medevacs. And there was a tech lab on the starport, but nothing was ever done with that either. So there was no Banshee play, no drop play. It felt like a very messy opener and a very messy build. And we didn't really get to achieve anything in the early game as a result of that. We saw that Sebesdes instead was able to get comfortable, be active with his stalkers, and just overwhelm. GG. GG, well played with Sebesdes does take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Over to us. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the yellow Protoss player, the yellow Protoss from land of Czechia, representing Team Roddy. It is Sebesdes. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Defiance. Here we go. So hopefully Defiance can tighten up his opener and tighten up his early game. It did feel like his opener did leave much to be desired and did allow for abuse, did allow for Sebesdes to come in and kind of bully him early on. Hopefully we can tighten up. Okay, as once again we have double gas opener out of Defiance. 2 games in a row, leads into a faster factory. Now last game this led into triple Reaper, single Hellion, into Widowmine, into like an awkward follow-up. We'll see where this leads this time. This can lead into reactive Reaper Hellion, this can lead into early Cyclone, this can lead into committed Widowmine, this can lead into Banshee play, it can lead into a 1 base all-in with double factory. Defiance has options. Does have options. So you have Defiance. Oh, does find the probe. Okay, I'll have the balance. But Defiance does find the initial worker. Not bad. A Twilight Council opener out of Sebesdes. And where are you taking us? CC on the high ground. This time, no Hellion. It's going to be Reaper into earlier Mind play. Into what should be Widowmine drops. That should be. Did I miss something?
Your add-on's done.
Okay. Oh, okay. Looks like there was maybe some latency or something going on. I see. Hopefully everything's okay. Meanwhile, we did have a... Was it only a one mine? 2. Okay, 2 Widowmines. Viking? Not Medevac? Sebesdes back at home is just going 3-gate blink into a robo, standard build, standard safe build by Sebesdes. Defiance will expand, but a very peculiar opener. So, winding it back a little bit here when it comes to the build of choice, it's very, very weird just because we're hyper fixated on building up units and building up army. What this means is that Defiance sees nothing across the map. For all he knows, it could be a Stargate opener, it could be Twilight Council, it could be 2-gate, 3-gate, 4-gate blink, could be a Robo opener instead, into a faster third base, into a no third. Like there's a lot of information, there's a lot that Defiance is not working really with. And this is why Widowmine drops are still done at the pro level, right? Widowmine drops are quite common, not for their damage, but more for their scouting and damage, and also keeping some supply busy while you can build up back at home. We're lacking all of that here for Defiance. Defiance essentially just gives up on map control early on. As both Reapers go down, Sebesdes does gain map control. And Defiance is playing blind. Oof. Yeah, losing a Cyclone, losing Reapers. Enough start for Defiance. There's no tank in the main, which means this might just kill, to be honest. Yeah, Stalkers, they dive in, they catch at the Marines, going for the islands as well. And GG gets called, and Sebesdes, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on into the next round. GG, well played. Congratulations, Sebesdes. He will claim the series. A relatively straightforward matchup here. But again, a shout out to Defiance. As I mentioned before, Defiance, he's more of an amateur player, more of a player that's kind of looking to rise through the ranks and be more active as a player in general here. I will say that the openers and the builds themselves did leave much to be desired, and that allowed for Sebesdes to be as aggressive and as assertive as we just saw. Usually that is not the case, but again, it was just a very messy start here, and we do need some cleaner early game to try to keep up with some of these other stronger players, of course. So GG well played. Hoping that Defiance can kind of like take this, of course, and learn from it and go back to the drawing board and again tighten up the early game builds, just so we can make sure we're able to have Ascending Army in time, have scouting as well to be able to react, respond, confirm what's going on, all that good stuff. But GG well played. With that, Sebesdes does advance on, and we have two series left here tonight. Up next, going to be loading into a PvZ between Art and Eon. Oh boy, it has been a while since we casted Art on this channel. We've been casting a lot of the other arts. There are multiple arts, but I'm ready. I'm excited. We have our PvZ, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the pink Protoss player. We have the Polish Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the blue Zerg. It is Eon, representing Ladder Legends. Here we go. We're getting into our PvZ, and I'm curious to see how Eon will approach this. Again, Eon, he is typically a very aggressive player. He rarely plays standard, he rarely plays macro, so we're leaning towards all-ins. But look at the map. We're loading into Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the larger maps in the map pool, and likewise one of the more defendable maps as well. So all-ins and aggressive builds from Eon are going to be more difficult to pull off. Not impossible, but difficult. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Hero0811 in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 8 months. 8 months of support, over half a year. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Gracias. Gracias. As we delve into our second last series of said broadcast. Again, when it comes to Eon's play here, something that we could see is Mutaplay. Like Spire and Mutaplay is definitely a viable option on Winter Madness in ZVP if he goes unscouted. So that's going to be in the back of my mind. Otherwise, I think predictions are closed. Oh wait, no. If you're in the chat. There we go. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Coming into this, I would have said that Art was the favorite player, but at the same time, I know that Art has been very inactive as of late. Art has been taking some time off, so he's not in peak condition. So as a result, it's a little bit more in the air. I still lean towards Art, but could definitely go the way of Eon as well. I'm hoping for an ace match, hoping for a game 3. Hoping for it. Meanwhile, we have we have our Stargate opener out of Art. Standard opener so far should be Stargate into the third base. We've yet to actually see. I don't think we've seen like a standard game out of our Protoss players tonight in PvZ. I know that Hydra was very aggressive. Rebellion was hyper aggressive. Yeah, this is our first standard PvZ opener of the broadcast. I'm making the assumption it's going to be Stargate Oracle into the third. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Technically, this can lead into an early Twilight Council still. But it's hard. It should be standard. It should be. Este Art. As the Oracle's on the way. Ours can soon look to expand. Overlord does see the move outs, and Lings are getting ready back at home. So that's so good. So Oracle does move out. Does thread in the main. As, oh! Gets 2 drones, no spore in the main base, and only 1 queen. Yeah, this is getting more damage than it should have. Oh my god, the punish is not quite there. The Oracle barely gets away, but gets away on 7 HP, 4 drone kills, not bad. Does at least survive, can always regenerate their shields. Again, Eon was caught with his pants down, only 1 queen in the main at the time, so yeah, shaky defense, and also no spore either, so quite greedy. Yeah, quite greedy. Bearing in mind that more oracles are coming and there are still no spores, there's going to be one spore at the third at least. But there's potential more damage. As things that do punish, nice catch here on the Stalker. Yeah, the Oracle's late to react. Starting back the Zerglings, do have a Forge of Twilight Council, standard follow-up here by Art. It looks a little bit early though, it looks like maybe +1 in charge. Otherwise should be Blink. Meanwhile, 5-minute Roach Warren timing, interesting. It is going to be hidden behind the main. So to me, it doesn't look like a safety Roach Warren timing. As Oracles, they spot the 4th. They don't attempt to force a cancel. Catching out more drones instead. That's going to be 3 more drone kills. It's getting out of hand. Meanwhile, the double Evo chamber tells us that we're macroing, right? Eon is going to macro up with a more roach heavy style with upgrades. So we're macroing out of this. I did just say that typically Eon is a more sort of an aggressive player. That's true. I still stand by that. But this game, we're just kind of calming things down, getting into the mid game, joining up to 3 base saturation. And Epside do poke in. More drones are going down. This is getting out of hand so far. How many workers have actually fallen? Too many. 90. Oh god, 20. 20 drones going down. There's nothing on the ground. No links. Wow. No, 0 Zerglings and 0 roaches. We're almost 7 minutes in. There's 0 units for Eon. Just now popping out. So greedy. Yeah, too greedy from Eon. He had 0 Zerglings. He had 0 roaches. He had 0 armor units. That's why this was getting so much damage done. So hyper greed out of Eon. Finally, he has some units, but after losing over 20 workers. And Art isn't done. And Eon, he just went back to droning. Yeah, Eon, he doesn't have an army. Like these roaches are not good enough. Yeah, the base is going down. Eon is falling apart. Losing the 4th base. And Art can just keep pushing. Can keep moving in. Piece off all these Zerglings. Spin control. So far, nice control. Once again, trading well, getting into the roaches. Ideally, these Stalkers trade against Zerglings, and then the Roach Hydra has like a nice buffer. But it's just nobody I control. We're losing too much here. Every Roach, every Hydra is going down, and Art, he has done it. He has broken the 3rd base. There's no standing army. Eon, he was punished early on. He lost over 20 drones at the start of the game. It was crazy economic damage. And Eon cannot save his 3rd base. Not like this. Not like this. Shades into the mineral line. Again, ensuring that just there is no standing army. Cashing out all the Hydras. Down to 1. Down to 0. Ah. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Alright, he takes game number 1. GG. And something that I wasn't really expecting, but overly greedy play. Overly greedy play out of Eon. If you remember, Eon, he skipped his spores. He skipped his spores, and he never got one in the natural, never got one in the main base. Likewise, he skipped his lings, he skipped his roaches. He was droning up quite heavily, and he was caught being greedy. He was caught droning, and in the end, he was punished for that. GG. GG, well played. With that, Art takes the lead in the series, and now we're going to be loading into Game 2 on the Old Republic. We'll see if Art can close it out, or if Eon can bounce back. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the pink Protoss player. The Polish Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player from land of Costa Rica. Down in the series, we'll see you bounce back. It is Eon. Let's go. Let us go. It's very hot here in Australia. We're still in summer. I think summer's ending soon, thankfully. Has led to some rough casting days when the room just turns into an oven. It's like, doing our best. Here we go. Alright, here we go. For now, do have our hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Eon. I say standard opener works. I mean, I was expecting something more aggressive out of Eon in game 1. Now we should be seeing something more aggressive here in game 2. That should be. Like, in my mind, Eon's strengths, they do lie in like 2 base all-ins and 3 base all-ins. Like, that is what Eon is known for. That's what he's best at, and I feel like that's what we should be seeing here at some point in the series. At some point. Otherwise, after this matchup, we do have one more. There's one more best of 3 after this. Una más, papi, una más. It's going to be another TVP between Creature and Moja. So we'll get there. Likewise, as a reminder as well, this is the lower bracket. So once you're, it's one and done. Players opening up. Bearing in mind as well that later on tonight you do have the podcast. I still have some catching up to do. I'm probably going to pass out and sleep after the cast, but I do have to catch up on. There was an interview with Musty recently that the StarCraft historian posted. So I have to catch up on that. I also have to take notes on the Jeff Kaplan interview. I did listen to the entire thing, but it was like a 5-hour interview. Like, I mean, it was really good. It was a really good interview with Jeff Kaplan, but 5 hours. Like, there's so much to take notes on, and I didn't take notes. I just went through it like initially first, and I probably have to like listen to it again, take some notes to talk about it. Yeah, some interesting things to say about StarCraft, but also just more generally as well about Blizzard, about game development as well. Some things that it felt like were almost directed to Bane Bust, by the way, we're all in. But some comments that it feels like they were general comments, but it feels like they were almost directed towards Stormgate a little bit as well, towards Frost Giants, and how they handle themselves in terms of scope, in terms of game development and game direction. So it's an interesting perspective from Jeff, 100%. I did value it quite a bit. So definitely a lot to discuss. But before that, we have her all in. It's going to be a Void Ray opener out of March. He's going to be hunting down that Overlord. The Void Ray is going to have a harder time defending compared to Oracles. Oracles have a lot of DPS output, especially against Link Bane. But here it comes. Here comes the all-in. Overlord is hunted down. Arch is expanding. Uh-oh. Art is expanding, and this is what we wanted out of Eon. Remember what I said at the beginning of the series, at the beginning of this game? I was like, Eon, he's known for all-ins. We got to see some aggression here. He was being greedy in game 1. That's where he struggled. But here we go. The Banelings are waddling in. He can knock down that front door, and we'll see how quickly Art reacts. Oh, breaks through. Yeah, it does break in. Here the wall is too late. The Oracle does try to respond. The CNG overcharge, and Banelings, they bust into the mineral line. Ooh, massive connections. Probes are going down. So far, good damage. The Void Ray does turn around. Void Ray turns around. And this is a strong start, but we've seen Arts come back from this. Oh boy. So Arch is going to be knocked down. He's knocked down to 26 drones. What's scary is that Eon has 26 workers as well. And Eon is still all in. Yeah, still very much so all in. This is supposed to end the game. Arch is not aware.
The firstborn shall persevere.
As he now does scout. Yeah, does scout the main bust. Does get the second bust, I should say. There's an adept in position. Lings, they get a surround. Nice surround. Nice setup. There's still no battery, though. There's no battery. There's no second Oracle? Oh, sorry, there's no third Oracle? Yeah, the Oracle's across the map. It's a rough call there from Art. We need the Oracles back at him to defend. This time he does split. Yeah, messy defense here from Art. Very messy. Two Bailey's to make their way in. Oof. Catching out, what, 6 probes? 7 probes go down. And with that, Art, he has been crippled. But Eon, he's just now droning up, so late drones, late saturation. He's still up against 3 Nexi. This isn't good enough. Eon, I feel like he needed more damage here. He is now droning up, but behind this is such a late lair, late Evo chambers, late upgrades, late tech. I don't think Eon's done enough. Yeah, he has not done enough damage here. Art behind this, going for his own Twilight Council. Vermeer most likely into Blink, but he has options. He knows he's up against Ling Bane, so he should not go charge. But we have seen stranger things before. This I like. Temple Archives into Archon production. This will be ideal. So Archons are on the horizon. That's going to be ideal against the Ling Bane. And Eon is in trouble. Again, the all-in did fail, and I would say at this point he has failed. He did fail to do more damage across the map. He needed more. Oracles, they confirm the Hydroden. This will prompt Storm. Storm in charge. There we go. Charge is on the way. Soon to be Archons as well. I mean, Arch, he's going to have the ideal setup. Comes down to the size of the army. Comes down to the execution. Interestingly enough, we see Eon has yet to expand. At this point, if the plan was to macro into a longer game, we should already see a 4th base. We should see a 4th and more drones. But here we're cutting workers at 51. We have early Hydra production. It looks like Eon's going for another all-in. It makes sense, just because he was so committed, and macroing from this position is nigh impossible. Yep, secondary all-in. Or I guess technically the 3rd all-in, I guess. Like, this is the 3rd wave. 3rd wave here. Eon rallying across the map. This is meant to kill. Storm is on the way. Does catch the Oracle. Massive pickoff. Massive pickoff. Oracle goes down. And back at home, Storm should be being chrono boosted as we speak. Yep, there it is. That's a chrono. Throws down all the batteries. There's no warp winds. There's barely an army. The Archon drop across the map is nice, but we need defenses back at home. We need defenses. Unit's going in. He's going for the dive. He gets one. He's trying to focus on the High Templar. Storm is almost complete. Yeah, boy's being pulled away. Doesn't want to waste that Storm. And I think Eon might have just done it here. Even with the Storm. There we go. Storm and the Hydras. A pretty bad the value Storm. Oh my god. But there's no army. There's no army. At the same time, the Archons are across the map. Imagine 2 Archons defending. Like, there's barely any Zerg here. The Archons would have had a strong defense back at home. I would have had a very strong defense. The Archons are still wreaking havoc, still finding or catching reinforcements. As the Hydras are running out, does snipe the... Ooh, does barely snipe the Void Ray. Takes out the Archons as well. Almost. That's it. The juggling. Gosh, save. First save out of Art. Very nice control. Art, he barely does hold, barely does survive. And we're getting messy. Getting very messy here, where Eon is down to 40 drones. At the same time, Art is up in workers. He's ahead in economy. So Art is still ahead. He's still ahead. And again, Eon, he had no longevity here in this game. He had no fourth base, no upgrades, 0-0, no Evo chambers. Here comes wave 4. The fourth wave. 4th time's the charm. But now he's pushing into Storm. Art does chase. Chases out into the open. Konze shuts down all the Lings. Meanwhile, here comes the Storm. Storm and the Hydras. And now Art is dominating. Chasing back the army. Eoni's running out of steam. I mean, he's running out at this point. He's run out of steam. There's nothing else back at home. He only has 40 drones. Again, that's, what, 2 base economy, if that. And here he comes. Art getting ready for his counterattack. Again, this army cannot be stopped. At the same time, we have a Ling run by, and Art, he does have some reinforcements back at home. He has batteries, cannons, warpins. He should be okay. Should be good. Art is moving in. Oof, massive storm on the Hydras. Oh god, goes back in. And again, Art, he cannot be stopped. Eon did have a much more aggressive build this game, of course, and he was finding some success, but just not enough damage with his main bust. Not enough damage with the follow-up all in. And in the end, Eon, he will lose his third base, lose the Hydras, and lose this spot here in OSC Elite Rising Star. Again, I was shocked to see in game 1 that he did go for more economic and greedy style, but GG gets called, and Art, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on in the tournament. GG. GG, well played, congratulations to Art, he will advance on. Eon is knocked out of the OSC Elite Rising Star event, so my condolences to Eon here. GG, well played, he is out of the tournament, and we will see Art moving on. Let's go. Congratulations to Art. That leads us into our next game. When it comes to the series itself, again, we did see hyper aggression finally out of Eon towards the end, but as we mentioned, he did not do enough damage. Did break into the natural and kill some probes, but he did not kill enough workers. Needed more economic damage and more probes to go down. Alas, he failed to do so. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we have one series left here tonight. One of us, one series left. It's going to be a TVP between Moja and Creature. Let's go. Again, it's been a while since we've been able to cover some Creature action. He used to be much more active back in like 2016, 2017, did retire for a couple of years, and recently, last year, did return to StarCraft, did return to competitive play, and looks like recently has joined Ladder Legends as well. Okay. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran. It is Moja. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player. We have the American Protoss. It is a Creature. Let's go. Let us go. We're settling into our TVP again, the final series of the broadcast, and I'm ready for some more aggressive builds. Now, Creature is very standard. He's a very, very standard player. It's quite rare to see Creature be aggressive and quite rare to see him go all in. I'm not saying it never happens, but it is a rare sight for Creature. Meanwhile, Moja is the opposite. Moja is very in your face. We do see a lot of 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins, hyper-aggressive builds out of Moja, even mech as well. Moja is a much more chaotic player, typically. For now, speaking of chaos, CC first build out of Moja. You can get away with this on these larger maps just because there's less of a chance that you get punished for it. Speaking of maps like the Old Republic, Winter Madness, Celestial Enclave, White Rabbit. So straight up CC first. And again, just very low chance that creature does punish. Just opening up standard. And Gates Cyber expand. We're expecting Twilight Council play out of creature. Meanwhile, I don't really know what to expect out of our Terran. CC first into a Rax. Of course, a delayed Rax. This can lead into, say, early Tech Lab into Marauder production, or a fast third CC into 3 CC 3 Rax. That would make sense on this map. True. That explodes into a very strong mid game after rushing to a third CC. We'll see. True. Meanwhile, if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get our gamba going. Coming into this, I do lean towards Moja, but I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure that Moja and Creature, they're only playing just now for the first time. They have not played against each other in the past, and I want to say that they're both very similar in skill. They're both very similar. I lean towards Moja just because we've seen a little bit more Moja as of late and less Creature. But we'll see. For now, Twilight Council opener, getting into Blink, safety battery on the low grounds. Again, just very safe play at a creature is what we expect. We should soon be seeing the hallucination scatter across the map, as it's going to be a 1-1-1 follow-up. There's no fast second Rax, no fast factory, no fast third CC. Not yet. From here, we're just getting to a standard mid game. Nothing crazy. It's building up. Hallucination does scout, does confirm. Gets eyes on the lack of fast third CC or fast second Rex. Confirms the main. How many gateways do we have? So far, it's going to be 3 gates in the main base and the Robo on the low ground. So 3 gate Blink into a Robo into a third. Very safe play at a creature. It's all about being safe. Just testing the waters, getting into the Old Republic. We didn't actually get to speak on this map just because I think this is the second game we're casting on the Old Republic, and we haven't really seen much standard macro play at all this entire broadcast. True. Actually, I think we might have seen it once, if that. We've been seeing a lot of aggression, a lot of weird builds. But when it comes to this map here, the third base and fourth base are more open. True, much more open. I think true. We did see some late game earlier today, but it was mech, right? It was mech versus Protoss. That doesn't count. Like that, like that was still very unusual and very unorthodox. So we've yet to experience an actual macro game in the entire broadcast. Standard game. But we're heading in that direction. But when it comes to the Old Republic, the third and fourth base are a lot more open, especially the fourth. It can be very difficult. So typically we do favor Protoss players getting into the mid to late game here, as they can more easily gain map control and apply pressure to the fourth base and make it difficult for the Terran to expand. That's usually the case, usually. So we'll see if we can get there. Creatures now building up into the Bay, into Colossus production, charges on the way as well. A little bit surprised to see no Forge yet, but we should be seeing a Forge to get to upgrades to the +1. Likewise, third CC on location for Moja. He's now moving out. Remember, this is just to apply some pressure. It is going to be hitting with Stim and Stim and combat shields. The upgrades are finishing in time. And surprisingly, Creature misses this. He does spot the tail end of the army. Creature is somewhat aware. Charge is done. And Moja commits in. It does commit in. Soakers get spotted. And all good defense here from Creature. Trying to defend. He does take down all the Zealots though. Decent target firing. And he breaks through. Wow, he breaks through. Tank volley the Immortal earlier. The Immortal goes down, and with that, there's just nothing left. There's nothing here. Remember, Moja, he was expanding. This was a macro game. Like, this is a macro build. It was meant to build up, but hey, he does snowball out of control. He breaks through that defensive line, and there is nothing left for Creature. Losing the Immortals. GG gets called, and Moja will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, everything just very quickly snowballed out of control. Unfortunately, Creature, he failed to see this moving out ahead of time. Ideally, you want to slow this down. Ideally, with your Sulkers, with Blink especially, you want to be able to engage, pick away at the Marines, buy time while you warp in back at home defensively. But if you recall, Creature didn't see the move out until it was already halfway across the map, right? It was a very late scout and late realization from Creature, so he did have less time to react and to prepare. GG. GG, well played, and with that, Moja takes the lead, and we still have yet to embrace the macro game. Like, we were leaning in that direction, we were getting there, then the game ended. Then Moja moved out unscouted. And we'll see if we can make a series out of this. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Terran player, we have the German Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Moja. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the American Protoss. We have the blue Protoss player himself. For Ladder Legends, it is Creature. Here we go. Go. As again, Moja, he didn't really do anything too crazy. He was just building up, getting a third base, going for his Stim, combat shields timing. Pretty standard setup last game out of Moja. This time, we expect more of the same. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is even larger than the Old Republic, even more defendable, so it is much more difficult to be assertive here on this map. Not impossible, but just more difficult. So, eyes are mainly on Creature to see how he does adjust. Less so on Moja. As this time, no CC first. True, there is no CC first. That's another factor in last game, of course, is that Moja had a slightly boosted economy. Economy was boosted, but otherwise we're calming down. Single gas opener out of Moja. Everything looking as it should. So we have a standard follow-up behind this. We have a cheeky bunker behind the mineral line. Okay. Throws down the bunker. It was unscouted, which means the bunker, it looks like it will finish. Yeah, bunker will complete. This is just to delay mining here at the natural. And a late scout, late realization, late shield battery here out of Creature. Oof, a rough start for our Protoss. Without that battery, it does mean the mining is going to be delayed even longer. Meanwhile, second Reaper's on the way. Can we get into the bunker? He's going for it. Yeah, he can get in. He can't get in. Oof, does get past the Adept. 2 Reapers and an SCV. The SCV's here to repair, ideally. Can repair the bunker. There we go. speaking of, there's a repair. Oh no, the SCV! Get in that! Jesus. Very close, very clutch. The battery is now done, which means finally Creature will defend. Creature will clean this up. KDA charges popping up. Ice control with the SCV. With almost 4 minutes in and still no mining at the natural. Finally, the bunker goes down. Does he get the adept? Oh my god, he gets the adept as well. Adept does fall. Creature can now main out over. He can now start mining from his own natural base, but very late mining here for Creature. And Moja's building up. Oh, going for a 2-on-1. Oh my god. Hyper aggression here from Moja. This is a borderline 2-base all-in. This is a bit of an older build. We saw this a lot at the start of the year, so I guess not that old, but you know what, 3-4 months ago. This was quite popular amongst players like Clem, amongst players like Maru. It's a quote-unquote 2-on-1, but as you can see here, there's no tech lab on the Raxes. The Marines are just for bio production, the Rax is just for Marine production. Meanwhile, we're rallying with tanks and Vikings across the map. It is an all-in. It's just straight up an all-in. It hits very, very hard. Vikings, they land, they add extra DPS. And again, this was very, very trendy a couple of months ago amongst the best Terran players in the world. Hits very hard. Especially if unscouted. And there is no scouting. There's nothing here. We need a sentry, we need a hallucination. There we go, first hallucinations moving out across the map. But this is a late scout from Creature. Very late. As the army should be pushing soon. And here it comes. Now he sees. Yeah, now he sees, now he knows. Now Creature is aware. Behind this, he begins the first Immortal. The Immortal's in the main, but again, the Immortal production is very late. It's very delayed. Oh, it does catch out the first Stalker already. Blink is done. The boys have arrived. Yeah, the boys are here. Blink is on cooldown. Force fields can slow this down, but there's only a couple of force fields. And Moja gets up the ramp. Ooh, yeah, he gets up the ramp. He's within range of all the shield batteries. Batteries are going to be denied. Stalker goes down as well. Pylon is exposed. And I don't see Creature diving in here. He's going to go for it though. The boys are being pulled. That's a lot of probes. They're going to be dealt with. And we're just rallying. You're just rallying across the map. Again, the Immortal's barely standing. Takes down the pylon, which means there's only 2 gateways. Only one gateway's powered. Warping in 1 unit at a time. And Moja's done it. Moja has done it. He has broken the natural. Again, it was just a late scout out of Creature. Late scout, late reaction, late realization. Just because of the rough early game, it all plays into each other. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Moja, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on into the next round. Creature is knocked out of the tournament. GG. GG, well played. Again, a hyper aggressive build here from Moja. It all began with the bunker behind the mineral line. Unfortunately, wasn't scouted. If it was seen earlier, we could have seen a faster battery to deal with it in a much faster fashion. But it was such a delayed natural base mining because of that bunker. So very, very rough opener out of Creature. Likewise, late sentry, late hallucination, late scout. Creature didn't see the all-in coming until it was already moving out across the map. Like, it was already coming his way by the time he realized what was happening. So just such a late reaction and late realization, and GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations. Moja, he will claim the series. He will claim it. He will advance on. Whew. And I believe you have some catching up to do in the brackets. Un momento. Un momento, papi. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. I don't know if anyone has been updated. Yeah, no one's been updating here, unfortunately, but we can regardless theorize ourselves. So when it comes to the upper portion of the brackets, Inexorable did fall to Ledlix, and we have a PvP. It's going to be Shameless and Ledlix facing off in the upper semifinals. Meanwhile, we have Milky Cow versus GgMaChine in the lower semi. So it's gonna be Shameless, Ledlix, Milky Cow, and GgMaChine, 2 Protoss, 1 Terran, 1 Zerg in the upper brackets. Meanwhile, when it comes to the lower brackets, again, Creaturey just got knocked out, and it's gonna be Moja versus the winner of Mini Zerg and Baby Marine. That series has yet to play out. But again, a lot of games, a lot of matches, a lot of StarCraft to be had, to be held. So we are going to be catching up next week. Next week will be the next kind of iteration, the next set of matches, of course, for OSC. There's still a lot of StarCraft to come. A lot more StarCraft, a lot of matches. Let's go. Thank you so much for the bits in the chat. Omega, gracias, papi, gracias. Omega trucks. Thank you so much, do appreciate it. Meanwhile, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Again, didn't get much sleep and I'm giga tired. And of course, we do have what later on tonight, the podcast. Bam! As you can see here, every single week on Thursday evening, we do have the podcast. That is our weekly talk show where we talk all things StarCraft. I was alluding to it earlier, but this week we have the interview with Jeff Kaplan. It was a very lengthy 5-hour interview with Jeff Kaplan. And I have to go back and rewatch it and go and take some notes. So I have to go back and I'll like watch on like 3 times speed and take some notes because there was just so much to digest. It was a very, very dense interview and it was really good. It was a really well done interview. I mean, I say that it was just 5 hours of Jeff talking, basically, like allowed to be given this platform to discuss his time at Blizzard, his time developing Overwatch, his time talking about the StarCraft MMO that they're working on. For those who don't know, I guess a bit of a teaser. He revealed that they were working on a StarCraft MMO called StarCraft Frontiers, or StarCraft Frontier. And it was basically when Titan was cancelled, and it was a really rough time for Jeff, for his career, and for Blizzard as well, because they'd spent 5 years developing Titan, and it failed as a project, and so he kind of got called in by Mike Morheim, and he was told, he was like, hey, you know, we're done with Titan, obviously, like it failed. It was a massive money sink, of course, and this is of course back when it was Activision Blizzard, so like they're getting a lot of pressure now from Activision and from shareholders, because I believe they also became public. They also became publicly traded, and he was given 6 weeks to come up with a new game, and one of the ideas of the new game was going to be a StarCraft MMO, but the problem is that he was told you have 6 weeks to come up with an idea and you have two years to develop, right? You have 2 years to develop the game and to release it. And one of the ideas that they had was the StarCraft MMO, but very, very quickly they realized that they could not do it in 2 years. Like it just would be impossible to accomplish that. So they eventually settled on, I mean, you know this, they eventually settled on Overwatch, which is a much smaller scale game. You know, it's like a team-based shooter game. Like there's no MMO aspect, there's no PvE. Feels bad, man. Overwatch 2. There's no PvE aspect either. It was a much more scaled down, and it was very successful, to be fair. But they eventually settled on Overwatch instead, which was a lot more realistic given the time frame that they were given. But he goes a little bit more in depth as to the ideas behind the StarCraft MMO, the classes, like the approach that they were going to be taking, and he does say that they all love the idea. Like Chris Metzen loved the idea. Like they all love the idea. It's just they just couldn't do it, right? It's a bit of a shame. I know that one of the things that I wish was asked was why they decided to go for a new IP and why they decided to start working on Titan to begin with. I think the answer to that is probably that they just that they felt the pressure to just come up with something new instead of using the IP that they already had, because it kind of limits Blizzard and it limits like their creative ideas. It sounds like they just wanted something fresh instead of another Warcraft game or another StarCraft game, right? And they did come up with a new IP that was Overwatch eventually, right? But it feels like that's probably the reason why they were working on Titan. but I guess we'll discuss a little bit more during the podcast. Discuss a little bit more then. But we have that interview to go through. We have the mostly interview as well, done by Starcraft historian. TLMC Team Liquid Map Contest was officially announced, and we have dates regarding the official contest as well. I will most likely be pushing to become a judge again to go through the maps, so that's going to be another thing. Meanwhile, Stars Agora was cancelled, so we're going to be discussing that. Going to be discussing the San Francisco land that was held not too long ago. The Iceland events, RSL, GSL CK, and many other events. So again, plenty of StarCraft to discuss during the podcast. It was a pretty intense week. And again, I have to go back and go through some of the interviews and take some notes. Don't have bits. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you for the bits, Pappy. Thank you. Do appreciate it. But again, a lot to discuss. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft stream a raid. And also, again, shout out to OSC for hosting the OSC Elite Rising Star. As you can see, there's an event for up-and-coming players to support the up-and-coming talent in StarCraft. And we might be back next week. It depends. It all depends on availability. Sometimes other casters cover it, like Dave Testa or Chicken Man or Steadfast or Wardy. So it does depend on who is available at the time. But otherwise, it will always be there to provide some OSC coverage. Otherwise, who is live? Who can we send everyone over to? I see I haven't rated Florencio in a while. I know that Enki's stream. We can give some love to Enki, el hermoso, papi. We can give him some love. He's spending some time with Pacheca, the Pachenki.
Expansiones de la izquierda de.
Sí.
Yeah, I think they're casting some team games. We'll give him some love. Unless there's someone else. Yeah, we'll give it to El Hermoso. True. Alright, but with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later on tonight for the podcast, or we'll see you tomorrow for some Covert Giants Cup. Otherwise, see you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.